So this is going to be my biggest project yet. This is going to probably take me hundreds of hours of work to put together. Anyways, here's my 100 favorite videos I've uploaded to this channel. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into this. Yo, I'm bored as hell. Do you want to go outside, chickens? Yeah, sure, let's go outside. I don't really care, so... yeah, let's just go outside. It's 5 in the morning. I don't really care. Yeah, fine. I don't really care, to be honest. Yeah, I don't care about you either. Lay your damn egg, you moron. Bro, can't you see I'm laying my freaking egg right now, bro? Like, come on, leave me alone right now. I'm trying to lay an egg. I hope no is a sufficient answer. Get out of my nesting box right now, you moron, before I come in there with a freaking flamethrower. No, how about no? This is my nesting box. Well, screw you too. I'm going broody right now. Hey look guys, I found a worm. Where? Give me that damn worm right now before I blast your nesting box with the flamethrower I said I was going to throw at you if you didn't lay your egg in time. Well, I hope no. I'm gonna keep this worm for myself. So you can screw off right now before I go in, rob your flamethrower, and throw it in your face. So no, how about we duke it out in the corner later today, huh? I want to see you after I eat this worm, huh? Come over here right now. I dare you. I dare you to mess with me. I dare you right now to mess with me. Hey, Rogue, get over here right now. You wouldn't believe what I just found in the grass. What did you just find in the grass? It better be something good, or else, well, guess what? Your nesting box is gonna be mine tomorrow morning. Oh, screw you, first of all. And second of all, yes, it's this thing that you expected. Well, guess who's not gonna have a nesting box to lay in tomorrow? Well, it looks like you're gonna have to lay in the grass tomorrow. Oh, I hope you're okay with that. Yeah, I dare you to say it to my face, Rogue. I have the ability to kick you out of this flock right now, Rogue. Would you like me to give you the boot right now? So I dare you to destroy my nesting box. I will still destroy your nesting box, but you're still not allowed to give me the boot, because I've lived here for the last year and a half. Well, guess what? I've lived here for the last 3 years, so you can screw off, take your ugly attitude out of here, Rogue, before I remove you as part of the flock. You can live in the duck house. I don't care. Well, you know what time it is? It's now time to leave the yard, so how about we all form a group and leave the yard? Everyone else can stay in the yard and eat whatever food they can find on the ground, while we're over here grazing like kings. Well, first of all, you're probably going to get eaten by a hawk or the cat, and second of all, you're not even grazing good food, bro. You don't know the qualities of good food. Well, I wouldn't know good food whenever I find it, because, like, I have, like, incredibly low standards, but yeah, let's just leave the yard. So yeah, let's leave the yard and let's find out some random food source and pray that we don't get eaten by a hawk. Yo chickens, I have an idea. Let's make a beeline right over there to that strawberry patch, bro. I kind of want to eat some of those strawberries. Bro, you're insane, bro. You're gonna get chased out of the strawberry patch. And plus, there's rabbits already eating the damn strawberries. So what are you even gonna get out of it? There's no ripe strawberries. Do I really care what's ripe or not? I'll eat a mouse if I find it on the ground. You'd probably eat yourself if you found it on the ground, to be completely real there. I mean, you're not wrong. I'd eat literally anything. And I'd eat at any time of the day as well. But, you know, yeah. Let's go right in there. We can scare off the rabbits. We can pretend that they're the big boy. That we're the big boys and that they're the tiny ones. Well, the rabbit's not going to run away. We can just feast on the strawberries without them. So, yeah. Hey, get out of my damn garden, you chickens. Get out right now. Oh, crap. He caught us, so... yeah, we're going right back into the yard, I guess. Well, goodbye. It was nice knowing all of you. Well, chickens, I'm here to count all of you to make sure all of you guys are here. So say here when I say your name. Lovey. Where the hell is Lovey, bro? I'll check later. Loudmouth, I'm here. Rogue, I'm here. Of course, I'm here. So, yeah, looks like everybody else, but Lovey and Chicken Burger are here, so we'll look for them later. But for now, everyone needs to get in a coop right now, or else the rooster will take up 3/4 of the roosting bar for you. So, yeah, get in there right now before, you know, the rooster takes up like 3/4 of the roosting bar because, you know, he's a pretty big guy. Bro, could you maybe consider, you know, moving out of the way, man? Like, I'm sick and tired of having to sit near you, bro. Like, you're just getting on my nerves. How about no? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to stretch out my wings even more so we have even less space. And yeah, I hope you get shoved off a roosting bar. Well, you too. Hopefully you fall the whopping 3 feet that is between the ground and the roosting bar. Wow, I'm so threatened right now. I'm gonna like cry, bro. I mean, like, bro, I will not move my wings. Bro, I can make an entire 5-course meal on your wings, I swear, bro. You're getting on my nerves. Move right now before something serious happens. Alright, bring it on then. Alright then. You remember that fight you said we were gonna have earlier today? Let's duke it out right now, bro. Alright, fine, then. Well, yeah. So, so while those chickens are duking it out, how about you, viewer watching this right now, click the like and subscribe button, and comment down below who you think will win. The winner will be revealed in the pinned comment later. Alright, what is going on, everyone? Today is the 25th of February. We're getting some snow, about an inch over here so far. Now, I figured I'd remake this video since, well, it was basically just my shovels grinding on gravel for 3 minutes, so let's actually shovel off some snow and give you some tips for doing so. Alright, so before we can actually begin the shoveling, we need to choose our shovels. We have two options right here. We have the smaller option, and then we have the larger option. The smaller option takes a lot longer time to do this, but the larger option can't fit up there. So the larger option is about maybe like 8 or 9 inches wider than right there, but the smaller option will take a longer time to do this. The wider option will probably take about 5 minutes. This will probably take around 15 minutes since we have like not too much snow. This is not really wet and heavy snow by any means, so it all depends on the type of snow. I'll maybe briefly educate you. So if you have like wet and heavy snow, you know, very heavy snow, weighs down, literally everything falls to like 32, 33 degrees. Well, you're probably gonna want like if you're gonna use a wide shovel, it does pick up a lot more snow. So if you're not really good with that, especially if you're like over the age of like 60, I would not recommend using the wide shovel in wet and heavy snow. This one picks up significantly less snow, so it'll be a lot easier to shovel in that. If you're talking about like moderate to fluffy snow, this is like moderate snow. You can see it's sticking to everything, but you can sort of see its formation, not very wet and heavy there. You can sort of tell that right there. So that is what you want. Moderate snow falls below freezing, like 25 to 32, and then fluffy snow falls but like I like 22, 23 degrees. It's like 26 degrees right now, so it's like really close to fluffy snow. But yeah, now that I briefly educated you on that, now it's time to choose the shovel, and I'll give you some tips to do it faster. Alright, so we have my shovel right here aligned perfectly. We want it in this alignment, and if we're going to do something like this, the fastest way to do it would be to do something like this. So there you go. And you want to sort of align it to one pile. You want to sort of like, maybe like, put it into like that pile over there, sort of. So now, and yeah, we do have gravel, but that's a lot easier to do with a snowblower, actually. So I'm going to finish up this part of the driveway and the time lapse. Alright, so there's going to be two techniques when we're going to shovel this part of the driveway. The first technique is to just go straight down the road. Now in this type of snow, it's a lot easier to do that, but it's a lot better recommended to do it side to side. So I sort of like duke a little parabola, but like not really, so it's not like a functional parabola there. If I wanted to do a parabola, it would be like a lot harder to do that. So I would say no parabola and shoveling. But if we're going to get more into this area right here, so then we're not. First we want to do just a straight line right to there. Yeah, sorry if the shovel's a bit loud, my voice gets drowned out. But yeah, as I said, no parabola. You just want to keep it going in a straight line. We're doing this area because there's not really a lot of space between here and that car. So yeah, hitting the car with a shovel is not recommended. I've done it before. It doesn't really do too much, you might have to save it, but I still wouldn't recommend doing it. Okay, so as I just discussed, there's like a little bit of a J there, but now there's two options you could do this. The first option is a lot slower, and it's to keep going in these diagonal lines. And then the second option is much faster, but it does require a lot more precision, and a lot of times if you get a lot of snow, like maybe over 6 inches, this is very hard to do. Plus, since we're only dealing with an inch over here, it's a lot easier to do this. So we're sort of just going down, back up. Oh, this is very slippery snow. I did not notice that. We're sort of going there and back up to the road. But yeah, nothing too bad yet here. So it's not going to be anything like what we might see on Monday, possibly. But yeah, You can post it in time lapse. So I don't know how much you can tell, but we did get the driveway finished, and it is a nice skating rink. I might release a short later. As you can see, I forgot this area, but we're gonna come back to this later. Now it's time to start talking about snowing, making sure the snow does not get does get cleaned off of your walkway. So here you can see we're gonna start very tight, and then we're gonna get wide again here. We're gonna start right here, these rocks, these stairs. Basically, like the thing with stairs is you're gonna want to sort of like a pile, like maybe like right there-ish. You can't actually see there's a bit of drifting here, but that's not a big deal because it's not like we're talking about like 9-10 inch deep drifts. We're talking about like drifting on the side of the stairs. And you can see that we are not using the wide one. You can also see there's tons of ice attached to this because of a winter storm we got here recently. I think it was named Olive or something. And yeah. Alright, so I'm refilming this, but here we go. You can see we do have this thing right here. It is not the widest thing. We do also have to be careful we're piling up our snow, because if we're not that careful, then it could possibly really end pretty badly. We are shoveling around here, making sure it don't go onto the grass, because, well, the grass is where it can play in the snow. So you can see right here, we're just piling up on the side of the walkway, making sure. I mean, this is very slick snow, so it is very hard to just, you know, get the shoveling all done. But, you know, here we go. You might be able to see that we are just shoveling around here a bit. And yeah. So before I close out on this video, I just want to give a couple tips and tricks, because as you just saw, I might have almost slipped. And I slipped multiple times in the shoveling time lapse. So first of all, this type of snow is ridiculously slippery. So when you're shoveling and you open up these paths, you want to make sure that, well, you got yourself some nice attachable shoes. Unfortunately here, I got the, you know, as my friends call it, the iShoe Pros here. So they're not really the most attachable things. They're really like you can see I'm sliding down the snow. They're not like the most attachable things to the snow. They're not reliable. I just came out here because they're very easy to slip on. So make sure your shoes are ready for slipping and sliding. Second tip, wear gloves, because you're going to be exposed, especially if it's cold like this, you know, 24, 25 degrees, and it's a bit gusty, you know, we're having gusts around 20, 30 miles per hour. You want to make sure that you're safe and ready for the expedition that it is going outside in the middle of a snowstorm. And third of all, you got to make sure you're prepared for this sort of stuff. Just yesterday, it was literally supposed to be partly cloudy all day today. And this morning, then they issued like a little weather statement for us, so yeah. And you can see, I am slipping and sliding basically everywhere. So yeah, you can see I can't really like brace anything, so that's why I say, make sure your shoes are suited for the snow. And snow pants are not required. As you can see, I'm just wearing casual pants, but you know, snow pants are not required. But if there's a lot of snow and you don't want to fall into it, you don't want to get your pants all wet, that way you have to put them in the dryer, well, wear some snow pants and some other snow gear too. If it's really cold, like we're talking about snow blowing into the driveway, yeah, put a couple layers on. And yeah, make sure you're noting what the temperature is, because that's key as well. Yo, what is going on, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to start a successful farmstand business, and also 95% now of people that watch these videos are not subscribed. Click it. The first thing you're going to need is a farmhouse, obviously, because, well, you can't just be running a farm in a really small backyard that has just complete dirt in it. Firstly, if you want to have something like chickens or ducks, you need to find a town that allows stuff like that, and yeah. I could go, the process about this is really long, and I have a video talking about it, which goes into complete detail about this. Now let's jump into it. Alright, so let's just say you just moved into that new homestead of yours. First thing you need is to rest. And once that 2 to 4 week resting period is up, you know what it's time to do now? It's time to actually get to work on a really small project. It's not going to be getting chickens or doing a garden like I'm walking through right now. It is going to be doing
really small projects. So let's just say on your brand new farm, you have a really badly maintained property, which is mostly field. Let's just say you have a really healthy 70-30 split between fields and woods. Well, that's going to be a lot of fields for you to maintain if you have a lot more than 15 acres. So yeah, get to work on that, because that should be your main priority, and then build something like a shed or something like that. So start small and then progressively get bigger. Alright, so now that you got all those basic projects done, it's probably been usually about 3 to 6 months of hard work on your farm. Not really that hard. But you know, once all that's done and all your fields are maintained and all, now it is officially time to actually start to get livestock in your farm. So there are 3 types of livestock, quote unquote, that you could put in there. The first type is poultry, because a lot of farms, you wouldn't believe it, are actually more poultry based. At the current moment, we are poultry based, mostly chickens, but in the future we'll be planning to expand to more stuff. Other than that, you need to come up with a plan. So poultry, livestock, which is other stuff other than poultry, since I classify poultry as its own basic thing in the livestock thing. And then you also have gardening. And yeah, gardening, your first garden is probably going to be your pepper patch in like 2 or 3 years, so yeah, be prepared. Alright, so chances are for the first couple of months of your first livestock, you're not going to get anything. Livestock including gardening. So now that you got all that first stuff done, and now it's time to actually start to set up the business that you want to set up. Now, there are 2 types of businesses that you can sort of put yourself into. One is way more successful than the other. The one that is way more successful than the other is farm stands, because those apply to people that are in a rush to get stuff and just need to stop by, maybe get a couple, like, maybe they need, like, corn for, like, corn on the cob or something like that. But those are a lot more successful than the other one, which is basically like what I like to call a farmer's market, but farmer's market is more like a gathering with a collection of farmers rather than just one. So the farmer's market one is a lot less successful because that requires people to actually drive into like a parking lot, and well, when you go to a farm, you just expect to pick something up from the road, not just go into a parking lot, have to walk through security, and then just walk right in and have to harvest stuff yourself. I'm sorry, this is not like a big business or anything. This is just something you're doing in your own backyard. So the first one was way more successful than the other, and I want you to like the video because I had to do tons of calculations over the successions of both of them. This took me like 3 hours to calculate this stuff, but the succession rate I got for for farm stands, I got a 77.4% succession rate. Well, 77.4 repeated, to be exact, and then for the other ones for the other farmer's market one, I got a total of 19%, so I think you know what one you want to go for now. So let's just say you had a pretty fun time doing livestock or whatever you did. Now it's time to finally expand into other stuff in the circle I created. So you can expand. So if you did gardening and chickens, you can actually combine the first one together, but let's just say you did gardening and chickens. You can expand to other stuff in that ring, such as for gardening, you might want to expand to indoor gardening, which this is actually hopefully going to be my first successful year. Please cross my fingers for me because, well, I can't for some reason. But yeah, indoor gardening is one. Ducks or something else like that, so you get like ducks, geese, quail, anything in the poultry ring of things. And then you also get stuff like, and then not only do you get stuff from the poultry ring of things, but also farms like livestock. So if you did maybe something like honeybees for the first one, then you might want to expand to something a little bit more complicated but still fairly easy, maybe like cows or pigs or something like that. And yeah, those are what I recommend for you if you want to jump from thing to thing. So let's just say at this point you've been doing farming for years and years and you've had a really good experience with it. But you've accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish, at least in the ring of things you wanted to experiment with. Now it's time to actually get the real thing. So that our pet flock, believe it or not, of chickens is actually just an experiment. Whereas our farm flock, which originally had like 40-something chickens in it, but we lost like 75% of them in the course of under a year because of red-tailed hawk and fox attacks and stuff like that. So we lost a lot of them. We used to have 40, now we're down to 14. And we are working on expanding our deal with chickens and then also some other stuff with that too. Anyways, my business email is thechicken868 if you want to contact me for sponsorships and other stuff, and that was about it. I may or may not have made a mistake allowing you guys to vote for the chickens as to what they would win today, because we have some pretty interesting ones here that, well, they've never won in the past. But yeah, let's see what my chickens will win today, because my chickens are winning awards that you guys voted for, and let's see how bad this gets. So my original plan for this video was to set up a lot of electronics out here so I could do like a full-on celebration, but unfortunately, it decided to rain on my parade here today, so yeah, we're not going to be able to do that, but the chickens don't really care, they just want their awards. Alright, so this right here is the trophies. They're obviously made using Photoshop or whatever software, but yeah, I couldn't really make them this year because, well, it's just like too hard to do that, so I just made them pretty quickly. But you can also see that that is a bit high quality there as well, much better than last year. So I'm also at the end going to be hosting a little bit of a chicken buffet out there, so you might want to stay till the end because this is going to be a little bit of an award banquet to remember for the chickens. Now I realized while making this that there are two tied, so I'm just not really going to bother with it, but you can tell me what they did end up winning. So yeah, we're going to start off with the one at the top. That's going to be presented to Burnt Chicken Tender for the best feathers of 2023. So this right here, if I put my camera in here without the chickens biting at it right there, brown one right there, that's Burnt Chicken Tender. Now we have a Buff Orpington with yellow feet right here at the camera right there. So her name is Cute, and she ended up winning the most broody chicken because she helped hatch out other chicken, some brand new chicks with a fellow chicken who also won another award similar, which we'll talk about later. But she did win this award, and yeah, according to you guys, she was the most broody chicken of all of them. So yeah, congratulations, Cute. So do you remember how earlier I said that there would be two tiebreakers with the best feather awards? Yeah, Chicken Burger also got that. She's also pretty annoying, but she did not get all caught up like another chicken and later in the video ended up getting. She is right over there in the corner. Right there, so yeah, she did end up winning that award. Now a lot of people know this chicken if you're not really new to the channel, the one that just tried to pick the camera, she right there. She Lovey, and she won the best egg layer. Now I'm actually very surprised she didn't win like the most friendly chicken because she really is. She's literally no issue with literally any human out here. But yeah, I will say she did end up winning this, and well, she does lay sufficient eggs. So you might remember earlier when I brought up the topic of Cute right here, right in the middle. Now right next to her is Loudmouth. She's not yellow-footed like Cute is. She's my only buff that has that. There's Loudmouth right there, and she ended up winning the Best Mother Award. Despite her probably being like the lazy, chilled out one, Cute really did go all out, but for whatever reason you voted for Loudmouth, and I can't complain. She did really do a good job, and she hatched out 3 chickens, and Cute only ended up hatching out 2, which I'm sorry, Cute, but you did end up hatching out the worst egg batch. Now we have a lot of no context ones, and some are right here. One right there, that black and white stripe one, Barred Rock. She ended up winning the most brave. This is one of those no context ones. She just ended up winning that. Honestly, that's really what it is, but yeah, that's what she ended up winning, so yeah. Now you might remember earlier I brought up the concept of the most annoying, and if you don't know who Abro is, don't ask where the name came from. I could not explain to you. One of my siblings named her right here. And yeah, that's the award. She keeps escaping. Like, she always gets up here. I guess she flies over, and then when she feels good enough that she's eaten enough greens, she'll jump right up onto that dirt pile right there. So yeah, pretty annoying. And if that was your chicken, you'd probably also get pretty annoyed. Now, Burnt Chicken Tender and another chicken back in 2020 ended up getting into a massive fight, which ended up correlating to my Barred Rock, who's over here. Mrs. Peeper, she's right there on the left. She ended up winning most influential because she survived a broken foot and also ended up later becoming the leader of the flock for a couple years. I think she like recently stepped down for whatever reason, but now Abro sort of rules the flock. You can see she's up there. She's probably
like contemplating world domination up there. But yeah, now time for their little like buffet out here. All right, so plans did fail a bit, and yeah, I ended up dropping some of this, but yeah, we're gonna give them their food. We have some bread. We used to have some popcorn. I had to throw that all out though. Yeah, we have all the stuff ready for them. So first of all, we're gonna put that's gonna be right there. I can throw all this like right there. Anyways, I just wanted to announce a new little thing I'm doing that's going to go until September. It's going to be called the Grow Your Own Chickens Challenge. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the store, you're going to buy your chickens. Obviously, you can tell them, or I'm not going to say the actual word for that because I'd rather be able to be viewed by everyone. So, yeah, and yeah, you're going to be able to take pictures of them once a week, caption it, and then upload it by September 10th, 2023. That's when the challenge is due by. I'll review yours, and then you'll be able to have a spot on the channel. So if I'm actually big by September, yeah, you get to see your name on there. And I'll also do compilations of every single video. But if there's like thousands of submissions, I'm not gonna be able to do that. So I'm gonna probably announce in a community post later today. And yeah, I'm at a chicken. It's like 35 degrees out. It's so cold, and it's just a very miserable, mucky day out. It's not a very fun day by all means, so we're just gonna close the video out now. What is going on, y'all? It is the chicken. It's about 29 degrees out here tonight, so I figured I'd come out here and talk about some very good Christmas decorations. We'll talk about table decoration in a future video, but for now, let's talk about outdoor decoration. Alright, so starting off very simply, if you're not able to see it, it's right here. You might be able to see all these lights flashing. It's really cool, right? I love flashing lights. Unless you're epileptic, then you might not want to see this, but too bad. So these lights are on a timer, and then we also have this thing right here. I don't know if you can tell you. We have it on number 7, which is twinkle slash flash, but there's 8 options, and the 9th one is to turn it off. You have to press it that many times, but that's just the light we use. And these are lights that can easily be applied to things like stone walls and other stuff. However, we're gonna get into the ones that go on your house later. Alright, so back where I used to live, our house was suited for that, but since this house is a lot older, we don't yet have the stuff to put up on it yet. So there would usually be lights that'll go up there on near the gutters, and up there you would have lights, and we'd turn them on, and they'd flash, I believe, red, green, and blue, because red and green are like the most common Christmas colors, and then blue for snow. And then it would flash for like, I believe, 6 or 7 hours, maybe from like 5 to later in the day. And then up there you would see that the lights would usually be on, and they will require a ladder to set up. You will have to like go over to like the area of the house you want to set it up at, put up on a ladder. Make sure you're doing that carefully, because I don't want any of y'all to fall off a ladder. So yeah, make sure you're doing it carefully, and make sure you're also setting it up correctly, because I don't really know if anyone just wants to go on a ladder 3 times because they set something up incorrectly the first time. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is front yard decor, or decoration, or whatever you want to call it. No way I just said decoration, but in the front yard, for a lot of people, they will have stuff like miniature Christmas trees that are usually like blow up, or like inflatable, whatever you call them. So you'd personally put them all over the yard, and usually we'll have some small stuff over here, like we might have like a little tree with Christmas lights on them. Usually this is more like Halloween decoration, but still there's a lot of other Christmas decorations you can put up here. I've seen a lot of homes that go full out with the front yard Christmas decorations. I've seen a lot of people do this. So you'd have stuff like snowmen, a lot of stuff here. And if it snows out, it makes it look even cooler, especially, let's just say, this area actually had snow on the ground, which for the time being, maybe next week we might get 2 or 3 inches of snow. But for the time being, no snow yet. Yeah. And finally, we talk about indoor Christmas decorations, like Christmas trees and lights that you can put up. And then we're also quickly going to do a quick thing on reefs going around the house. I don't know if you've seen them, like where that star is right now, you might see a reef going on the house there. It's a very common Christmas decoration, and we actually have one, except we haven't yet put it up because it's freaking December 4th right now. We don't usually put up that many Christmas decorations until later this month, but there you will notice that there is a lot of people that use reefs. And then inside the house, you know, Christmas trees, ornaments, and stuff like that, and yeah. So that was pretty much all I had to say. If you have any others, leave them down in the comments below. Be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel so I can reach my 4,000 watch hours. And plus, I'm going to be making a video about Christmas dinner soon. So yeah, see you next time, and look at these cool lights. Once again, if you're epileptic, don't look at these things.
I don't know when you're seeing this because my internet's out, because I was almost struck by lightning. You know, I'll probably make a video later, but today we're going to be talking about the fall and winter plan for the farm.
Alright, so let's start out with the chickens. Now, there's not too many plans to discuss about them. Now, we are going to be moving out a couple new chickens that are currently inside right now by the names of, one of them is Kit Kat, another is Fluffball. We have Shaving Cream, I don't even know where that name came from. And then they decided to name one Rotisserie Chicken. Yeah, we have some pretty interesting names in there. But yeah, let's talk about those. We're just gonna move them outside. You know, I'll probably move them into the barn soon, but you know, we'll honestly never know when and when we'll do all this crap. Cause yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the thunderstorm here is pretty bad. Should have made a storm chasing video, but didn't whip the camera out in time. But, you know, I'm thinking that this winter will probably be pretty snowy, so, you know, I'm hoping that the chickens are able to handle that stuff. But the ducks, they'll enjoy that. Hell yeah, they'll have tons of fun out there in the snow, so yeah. I'm expecting this winter to be fairly decent with that. Same with the fall, too. I mean, it snows here in the fall from, like, November to about April, we get snow here.
Alright, so let's get out here and talk about the garden. So we got, like, almost 2 inches of rain today here. So that hopefully did help out the garden. I mean, like, look at how wet these things are. It looks honestly stunning when you take a look at it. But you know what? I will say, we have some big plans this year for our winter garden. Now, yeah, we're probably going to be doing a gourd harvest, and yeah, we didn't get the amount of pumpkins we wanted, and I think we're going to do one final corn harvest tomorrow, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. But other than that, I will say the gourds are flowering everywhere, and it's looking pretty promising. And with today's rain, I hope that did help the garden out, even in the slightest. I mean, I'm thinking we'll probably have, like, drought relief in, like, October or November, because that's usually when the rain kicks up here. And then, well, the tomatoes, they're pretty much already dead. But, like, this is, like, really wet and not really crinkly, so I think that's kind of, like, a good sign for the garden at the very least here. And we're also going to be doing an indoor garden this year. So my plan for the indoor garden is to basically just, you know, have an indoor garden, obviously. And not only have an indoor garden, but also have some sort of, like, success with that. Because I'm hoping for an indoor successful garden this year. You never know. I mean, I'm hoping that we have at least some success. I think we're going to be planting a couple of them in there, but I don't know how many plants we're going to be planting in the indoor garden this winter.
So as for the farm itself, I'm thinking that this year we're going to be doing, well, at least this winter, we're going to be doing some repairs on the upstairs of our home, so my studio might be moving like the spring or early summer. That's pretty much all the big changes that'll happen to upstairs this year, but yeah. We're also going to hopefully be completely eradicating the horse nettle so we can actually have succession with hay next year, but I don't know, honestly. We're also going to be reinstalling some windows, since some of these windows are from, like, what, like 1955 or something like that. I don't know. I mean, the windows, they're kind of old. Same thing goes for the siding. And then I'm also expecting that we will also be building a chicken coop, like, soon. We just need to get another trailer over here, and trailer's in another state, so it's gonna take a while to get there and a while to get back up. But, you know, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the farm. I mean, not too much here. other than also hopefully dealing with the groundhog population, because groundhogs, they can kill you if you're not paying attention.
Now let's start on a section that I haven't yet talked about this year, the holiday season this year. I'm hoping that we get a white Christmas. Last year I wouldn't really call it a white Christmas because we did get some snow on Christmas, and then we got an ice storm the next day, and then just switched right over to rain. So I don't know, there was maybe like 3 inches of snow on the ground for Christmas. But that's not only that, but I'm also hoping to keep the upload streak through the holidays this year, because, well, you know, if I miss one upload, that'll shatter an almost 200-day thing. I'm thinking of ending the streak by the end of 2022. But, you know, I definitely want to be daily uploading for, like, a whole year before I end it, you know? So, yeah, the holidays this year, they're not going to be terribly busy, I'm suspecting. Honestly, the biggest plans I have for the holidays this year is relaxing and filming some videos, because it's basically the only thing I do over holiday break. And yeah, school is starting up on the 1st of September for me, and I'm looking forward to that. Honestly, once that all starts, and yeah, I have an S show to go back to. Well, I don't know, but I already have a bunch of videos already pre-filmed for that. Now let's talk about a little bit more boring side of this. So, you know, you can skip to the timestamp on screen if you want to watch another video.
The only big thing here is reaching 500 by the end of 2022. Yeah, I really wanted to hit 500 by the 1st of September, but unless one of the shorts I post in the coming days, you know, reaches like 50,000 views, is probably not going to happen. So I just need a miracle if I want to reach 500 by the end of the month. But yeah, I'm also hoping to create really high production films here on the channel. But you know what, I'm also going to be filming a movie throughout the months of September and October, so yeah. I'm thinking I'll probably have to, like, you know, pre-film a whole bunch of movies. Not movies, that's so old, I don't know why I said that. Videos and stuff like that. You know, I'm also planning to increase some of the values I produce here. I'm also planning on decreasing the video length on the channel to make my videos a little bit more bingeable. I'm thinking about decreasing the length to about, well, like 5 or 6 minutes at the most. Sometimes you'll see a 7 to 9 minute long video, but I'm trying my best to stay within the 5 to 7 minute range of videos so it's most enjoyable.
Today's day in life will be a little different. The only reason I'm doing this is because it'll be 95 today, so yeah. Alright, so at the moment, the automatic coop door in the pet flock has a major skill issue and does not know how to open. So I'm gonna have to do this myself. And this is really annoying to do every morning. I don't know what is wrong with this door. Release the cluckin'? There comes our new chicken, Rogue Chicken, who is literally what we named it. There are the others. Alright, I'm gonna feed them and water them. Alright, chickens, here you go. Yeah, I think it's like 75, 76 right now. It's gonna be like 91, 92 today. Just checked. Now we're just transporting this to there. Don't worry, I'll explain what's going on here in a minute and show you what the farm flock's up to. Alright, the ducks will probably be the first to react to it, yep. Why is this camera catching stuff in high contrast? Alright, so I have goldfish in my hand and I'm gonna get these chickens to follow me. Somehow they are gonna follow me. Somehow. Right, here's where I'm gonna corner the chickens and put them in, but here be the farm flock. There's Waldo, there's Snow White, there's the other chickens. There's some probably in their box. And I'll feed them and water them in a minute. Here comes the silver Wyandotte. I see both of our gold Wyandottes are in there though. Alright, so we have a fairly simple contraption here where we have an electrical fence and it will zap the fox. if it tries to get in. But it's not electrified right now because we are doing the garden. And after this, I'll check on the garden. Things are looking good in here. Looks like we have some basil and some beans that hopefully should live, and some more tomato plants and eggplants. Looks like they're all doing good. Yeah, we'll probably have to take this thing off today. It's around 1:10 p.m. right now. I haven't filmed since the morning because I was charging my camera. But here we are. It is currently 1:10 p.m. and it is currently 92 degrees outside. Just a few minutes ago it was 90. But it is getting really hot out, and I'm gonna show you how the chickens are doing. Now, as you can see, the chickens they're looking really not so comfortable in this weather conditions. There's Rogue Buff. There, I think you could see the eggs in the coop. I don't know why they're on the floor. Yeah, today's gonna be sort of a different day. Yeah. Oh, chicken burger, dust breathing in the arid soils that lay within there. I know I should have done this yesterday, but didn't have the chance to do it yesterday. What the hell is the duck doing in the chicken coop? What the hell are you doing in there? I see how you got in. Alright, now I can kind of very clearly see the garden, since every video I film is late at night. Here's the garden. There's several rows of strawberries going down. You can probably all see the flowers now. But here are the blueberries. And, well, it looks like they're doing good here. Yeah. Starting to come out. There's tons of flowers in the blueberries. Yeah. This one is the tallest blueberry, but it has the fewest leaves. Yeah, we have an irrigation pipe set up. I don't know when we're gonna set up the actual irrigation system, but hopefully it's soon. Damn, look at all those trees. Feels so early. 3 o'clock, it's 96 degrees out, and I'm gonna feed my chickens some watermelon. Alright, so I got this entire watermelon for my flock of chickens. Hope they enjoy this. Alright, chickens, here you all go. Alright, the first one coming up is, of course, Lovey. You know, she's the one that always... Alright, no one looks like they're in the box. Alright, I'm gonna check really quickly. Hey there, Lovey. Just need to make sure everyone comes out for their treat. There's Summer and I think, yeah, that's what the clock. And no one's in there. Alright, let's feed them. Alright, here be the chickens that are about to get fed this amazing piece of watermelon. Alright, here we go. You want it, Mrs. Peepers? Hey there, Lovey. Here you go. Yep, and there. And here comes a few chickens. There's Summer, Gray Cloud, and Loudmouth are going. I don't know if anyone in there is gonna go. I feel bad for Burnt Chicken Tender right now, who's suffering in the immense heat. It's 94 right now. It's just another day like yesterday. Sorry for all the chickens that don't get this. Just look, they're just peeling it apart. There's that one cayuga. Everyone else is just bathing in the rhododendron bush. It's finally flowering. I mean, it's a little early. Usually it doesn't flower until Flag Day, which is mid-June. Looks like it's flowering early this year. Oh, there's cute, and that's it. That's all the chickens we got. Burnt Chicken Tender is suffering in the immense heat. Let's check on the farm flock. It's currently around 6:30. Having dinner in a minute. Need to refill the chicken waterers, and I'll be right back in a second. Also, yeah, we lost Snow White. I don't know what happened to him. He's not there. We lost Snow White. For good. I don't know what happened to him. Right, here be the water. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Snow White. But I'm not gonna make a video on it. Because he was kind of a mean rooster. I can kind of see why this disappearance vibe happened, but no other chickens are gone. No other chickens are distorted. Not distorted. That has to do with audio on my phone. but like, he's like gone or something. Like, I don't know word for this. He's just gone. Like, he's a farm flock member, he's a rooster. He gives me falcon vibes, but 30 times worse. So honestly, I don't know if I should say goodbye or good riddance. Alright, it is much more comfortable out right now. It is currently, I think it's like 75, 76 right now. It's really nice out. Yeah, I'm about to go do the farm flock. The pet flock doesn't tuck themselves away until late. Damn, these things dried out like the entire day. And this tomato plant got pushed out of the way too. Jesus Christ, this thing is not normal. Yeah, something has to be done about this thing. I can already feel that Snow White's probably not going to be in here tonight. I can hear Waldo, but I don't hear Snow White responding, and he is not in here. Huge sigh of relief, meaning I can finally collect the eggs at night and walk down this aisle without worrying about being beaten to death. Alright, so lighting is really bad, but there is a crap ton of eggs right there, and I think there's some in here. Don't know for a fact. John Marin's causing problems today. Crowbird, Waldo boy who survived the attack, and looks like he's gonna be okay. Alright, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 16, which is good. And yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but Crowbird is right here. Yeah, I really need to invest in a lantern or something. Or something actually good to do at night. Fortunately now, the farm flock doesn't look like they're in a shock or any major, circumstances. However, Waldo will probably return to his like self, which he was like over the summer. So here's what the damage the farm flock has done to this area. It's very clear that they have done a lot of damage, including this God knows how deep hole, probably like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 inches, maybe 5 inches deep. Yeah, here's the electric fence. It is not electrified, so watch me touch it. My disappointment is immeasurable. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a rabbit right there. You see it? Alright, this is part of the day of the life and not tonight's video. But there is a supercell thunderstorm on the way here this evening. Looks like it'll produce 60-mile-per-hour wind here, so yeah, we're hunkering down for the night. Yeah, I'm getting everything under control. I don't know if the farm flock will be crippled tomorrow or not, but looks for things they won't.
In this video, we're going to be doing just a simple video of just my chickens clucking. I've never really done a video like this before. I mean, like, yeah, I have like those 2 videos that I've already released, but that's it. I'm going to do this cute little video of my chickens just clucking for I don't know how long. Enjoy my chickens clucking. Let's do this cool transition to the video.
So let's make a meatless Monday meal in 3 minutes. You're about to witness my day in the life on a ridiculously cold day here on the farm. It got down as low as negative 20 degrees, so yeah, let's do this.
Yo, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be giving you a list of the top 10 best seeds to plant in the 2023 growing season. I'll also make sure to put all growing zones into accountability while making this video. So at the number 10 spot, I decided to put raspberries. So raspberries are best grown in growing zones above 5A and are also very good for your garden. A quick recommendation whilst growing these is to give some form of protection against deer, since they love to eat away at raspberry plants, of course. So if you don't want to taste deer saliva, then cage them up in some form of cage. I'll give them a 6 out of 10 on my growing score, which take aspects of these plants into contrast. So at the number 9 spot, I decided to place basil. They aren't the most interesting plant in the garden, but they're really good with pizza. It also will help protect tomatoes from numerous beetles. But the reason they aren't any higher on this list is quite simple. Like I said earlier, they aren't the most interesting plant in the garden. Also give them a 6.7 out of 10. Now at the number 8 spot, I decided to put basic spices here. So this is like oregano, basil, which I decided to exclude from this, since they're really just about the same as basil, except some may guard certain plants from being absolutely decimated by the local deer population. That's oregano for you. I'll give them a 7 out of 10. At the number 7 spot, I decided to place blueberries. Now the reason they aren't any higher on this list is very simple. If you have no toleration of plants that take forever to come in, and this isn't for you, it takes 2 to 3 years for these plants to come in and actually produce. And those obnoxious sparrows and blue jays who come in and pick them right off before even any of the blueberries are ever ready. I'll give them a 7.2 out of 10. Now at the number 6 spot, I decided to place the entire squash family, excluding zucchini, because they're going to be at a higher spot on this list, which does include pumpkin, squash, and gourds. Now if you want a full video on these, it'll be in an info card currently linked on the screen. But these guys, the only reason they aren't higher on this list is very simple. They are significantly harder to grow, which hinders their ability to make it into my top 5 list. I'll just give them a 7.8 out of 10 for littering. Now at the number 5 spot, I'm going to end up putting strawberries. Now these guys have an absolute tendency to mass produce at the beginning of the season, but then go radio silent until early fall. They don't produce as much at the start of the plant's life, but they go all out in their 2nd or 3rd year. They also live up to 7 years, which is a plus side. I'll give them an 8 out of 10. Now at the number 4 spot, I'm going to have to put carrots. These are an absolute beginner's plant, which can be planted at any point in the season. But either way, they are so easy to plant and only take about 90 to 120 days until you can harvest them. I'll give them an 8.3 Now at the number 3 spot, I'm going to put zucchini. Now the reason I didn't put them with the other squash plants is quite simple. They're significantly easier to grow, which also makes them quite easy to harvest. I'm going to give them an 8.7 out of 10. At the number 2 spot, I'm going to put collards or collard greens, depending on which way you call them. Now, the only plant on this list I haven't grown is this one, obviously. But looking at other people's growing experience and how they grew it, I can safely say that they're amazing plants to grow, since people's opinions on this is pretty decent. I'll give them a 9 out of 10. I just want to do a brief little 15-second honorable mention. It's going to be corn. Now, they're still very hard to grow, but I still figured I'd put them on this list either way because they were pretty helpful. The number 1 spot, I'm putting very obviously tomatoes, all varieties, of course. I'm sorry, there are just too many possibilities with these plants. They also make S-tier sandwiches, which for that reason alone, giving them a 10 out of 10.
If you're up for the challenge of raising chickens, then this video is just for you. In this video, I will show you how to raise chickens the easy way. This took forever to make, so please consider subscribing. Anyways, on with the video. So before getting your chickens, here are some things you should buy. You can really go to any store to get this stuff as long as they are trusted. So here are some things you should buy from the store before you get your chickens. Number 1, buying a brooder. Now I did some researching and came up with an average cost of around $100. That's only the information I got from my own chicken brooder that I used to raise my first batch of chickens in, which are the ones that are most important to this channel. The one I use, which is the $100 one, can hold around 10 chickens for about 8 weeks. The price varies big time as to how long you plan on keeping them inside for. There is also another option, just build one yourself. So if you have any plans to raise more chickens, you can save an enormous amount of money since it is only a one-time thing, and you can raise more chickens within it. Another thing that your chickens will need before you get them are waterers. Now there are two types I will be going over in this video, the small ones and the large ones. The small ones are much cheaper but come with a major price, that being the maintenance that is required. You see, the small ones cost around $3 or $4, but still, it can be used for 5 chickens, dividing it into 5 different parts, each part representing a different chicken. And it will probably take them around 10 hours to drink their part of it. So if you have 10 chickens, let's just say, then you'll need 2 different waterers. And another downside is the fact that they will likely wear within a year or 2. Even if you use it for, well, 8 weeks at a time, the chickens simply put it through the toughest of conditions. Fortunately, there is a way around it. It is getting a much larger $7 waterer. These are heavy duty and they can go through the toughest of conditions. I've taken them outside during full-on hurricanes, and yet they still work perfectly. They can last many years and many generations of wear and tear. These are much harder to knock over and can hold many gallons of water at a time. Best of all, it is really easy to recognize what makes it, and that makes it really easy to use for your chickens. And the more obvious one is feeders. These are kind of obvious and don't need explaining. Just open up the feeder and fill it up with feed. You must also buy feed for your chickens. Usually if you have 10 chickens, it will take them about 2 weeks to use up a bag of chick feeder. So here is a simple equation to help you. X divided by 2. X being the number of weeks that your chickens are inside for. Now take that number and divide it in half, and there's the total amount of bags you need. Not dividing the number you get in half, just X in half. If it is a decimal, round it up. After about 12 weeks of age, switch over to egg layer pellets. Another thing is shavings. You put these on the floor of the brooder. Usually they are $20 a bag, and you should clean the brooder every week or so. And just like the food, it will likely take around 2 weeks to use up a bag. So just like the feed, X divided by 2. Now obviously there are some other stuff I could have included, but I don't have time to script it, so I just did the bare minimum. Anyways, moving on. Yes, I know I'm lazy. Now here's when the first catch of the video occurs. I don't know what breed of chickens you are getting, so here's a video with descriptions about my recommendations. However, if you don't feel like watching it, I will show you a few clips. Here they are.
Goodness. Seriously, those things can go for as much as $70. These chickens lay around 245 eggs a year, and also are known for relative docile behavior, have genuinely positive behavior around humans. So if you really want a good breed for chickens, I'd highly recommend this one.
Now that you have your chickens, here's what to do once they arrive at your home. First of all, make sure everything is set up for your chickens, so that way they don't have to wait. Also, I forgot to mention, but heat lamps are a requirement to keep chickens alive. So here's how to work them. Raise it by a few inches every week, and lower the temperature by 5 degrees also every week. The starting point is 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is something in Celsius. I'll mention it right here. And after that, the temperature should drop. Keep them inside until the temperature is lowered to around the outdoor temperature. Now, once they are in the house, here's what to do. More often than not, people are going to give your chickens in boxes, so it will be really useful to remove them carefully. Talk in high tone while gently placing the chicken down on the brooder floor. You might also want to show the chicken around the brooder, but beware, never hold the chicken upside down. While they are in their brooder, now is the time to build their future. You always want to make sure their future is set for them, and fortunately, there is a really simple way to do this. Just build their coop. Really simple. Or is it? To learn more about that, I have a video linked in an iCard above. But here are some tips and tricks. Number 1, always prioritize predator proofing the chicken coop and run. The trick is to imagine the predator. how it would get into your chicken coop or run, and then try your hardest to seal it off from them. And also, if you can't build a chicken coop, I would highly recommend getting someone to build the coop for you. Most chicken coops cost around $1,000 to $3,000. Another thing is making the run to make it accessible while also making sure it's just right for your chickens. Always remember that you want a life that is suitable for your chickens, so always make sure the environment is right, while also making sure it is humanly impossible for any predator to get into your chicken coop or run. I may also suggest that you take the extra $400 and buy a trailer to put your coop on, so that way if a predator finds out where your chickens are, you have time to move them away from the threat, and so on and so forth. Next, now that your chickens are usually 8 to 12 weeks old, now you move them into their chicken coop. Here is how to do it. First, introduce them to the outdoors in sessions, usually lasting around 2 to 3 hours, to get them used to the outdoors and the air and their surroundings. Then move them outside. Now leave them in their coop for the next 48 hours, or 2 days. This will tell them where they're gonna need to sleep, also showing them where their food, water, roosting bars, and of course, their nest boxes are. And finally, egg laying. For most chickens, this begins at around 28 or 29 weeks of age, but others begin earlier and others begin later. Remember to make sure that you have nesting boxes installed properly and other things to guarantee eggs. Just remember, selling eggs is really hard. For the first 3 or 4 months of egg laying, their eggs will be abnormally small, usually taking 3 to 4 eggs just to make your average 2 eggs. Also remember to make sure that you sell a dozen eggs for $3, except there's a catch. You need to put $6 back into the chickens. As I said, raising chickens isn't cheap, but it isn't all that expensive either. So sell the eggs at a reasonable price that is good for you and the customer. I have a video coming out on June 7th about selling stuff at your farm stand if you're creating one. So selling your eggs for $3 a dozen is a risk, but selling them for $10 a dozen? It's also a risk. Here's a graph I made about selling eggs for $3 a dozen, which is the average that you get them for, but some people sell them for $7 a dozen, which is also a major risk. So remember to make sure that you're taking the proper risks, but make sure it's good for your chickens and also good for your well-being. And that about does it for this video. Thank God. As mentioned, raising chickens is not easy, but it's not hard either. I would recommend starting a farm out with chickens. Chickens are a lot of fun to have around, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day and subscribe.
Alright, so it's bitterly cold out already. It's about 19 degrees, but tomorrow night it's supposed to get as low as negative 19 degrees. Let's go! Alright, so we're going to do some preparations around the farm tonight. I'm going to take you through them.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start by gathering some wood, just so that way we can help make fires. I have to check the wood to make sure that it's all completely good, but it looks like it's been pretty well covered up with the recent rain we've been getting. Obviously this check doesn't last for too long, but it does help a lot. Now it does also help to make sure that we have a secondary heat source, just in case, you know, it like gels over, which is very common when you have temperatures this low. So yeah, that's really what it is, so I'll let you watch the rest of this clip. So now you can see me collecting kindling and some pine needles, because pine needles are really good for making fires out, but the green ones aren't, so of course I wouldn't grab the green ones. I just grabbed some kindling and some other ones, and as you can see I completely struggled to move anything on that branch. Stupid move on my part. I just ended up collecting some later. I mean, my hand was starting to get like really cold, so like what do you expect, but like still I should be able to grab onto there. But then I grabbed some dead weeds, so like, you know, it worked out in the end. I grabbed just about like, I want to say 15 pieces of that. Not the best kindling, but it gets the fire started. So yeah, I'll let you watch the rest of the clip. Alright, so now we have to go ahead and check on the chickens and ducks, and if you're wondering, we're actually now down to 1 duck, so I should say chickens and duck. It's what the duck, if you are wondering, so my only rowan is gone, and my only cayuga left. is the one that's probably suffered through the most. We checked the duck coop, of course, but I'm just waiting for the automatic door to open due to light, so you can see that there's literally no one in there. The chickens just use it as like a hub to lay eggs because like it's like their favorite place to lay eggs. But then I just walk into the chicken coop and then I look for eggs, and I'm going to show you the duck that's remaining. And to be able to make sure the floor is nice and warm, we covered it up with some straw, and you can see her right there in the corner maybe. You can see we covered it nice up with straw. They have feathers, so it'll be protected. So they'll be protected in this bitterly cold weather. I also have to make sure the window is completely shut. As you can see a gray cloud up there. And the duck is all the way there in the corner. You can see that little, you can sort of make it out maybe. I mean, it's very hard to see because like I'm using a flashlight. But she is there, if you're wondering. So yeah, the duck is right over there. And I'm walking right to her now. She's one of my Cayuga ducks, if you're wondering. I'll let you watch the remainder of this clip. Alright, so now we've walked out to my other flock of chickens, and you can see the floor is just there, and you can see it's perfectly fine, so it keeps them nice and warm. The insulation's up there, but they keep pecking at it, so there's Waldo, one rooster, and then the one on the right is going to be, I believe, it's rotisserie chicken, but it could also be shaving cream because they're also hanging out there. You can see we have one of my ISA Browns right there. She's really camera friendly. I guess my ISA Browns are just like that. And then there's the Wyandotte considering pecking at the camera, but like saying no at the last minute. You see the hole that they made in the roof there, but it's not a big deal because it's only a small area. It was about 45 degrees in the coop, and the other coop was probably like almost 55. You can see I also have to check their feed to make sure it's nice and filled. And yeah, they jump on top of their things. So yeah, that's why there's a lot of crap on it. But you can see right here, that little gray one right there, that is actually Kit Kat. If you've been around for a while, that's the chicken I'm talking about. That's Kit Kat. She's all grown up now, but she refuses to ever go outside. And that's Crowbird, and I think the chicken that I'm sort of pointing out right there might be Fluffball, but I'm probably wrong. You can see there's my Buff, who is, Buffy the, not gonna say that word layer. So I bet you we've all had those days where it's really cold, so we just run inside. So when we have these moments, I have to make sure the walkway is completely clear, so I started by making sure all the rocks on the stone wall were all there. So here's my little time lapse. You can see I'm putting it there, and there's actually a bug right there. I think it's dead right now because it was like 19 degrees when I was filming this, and it's probably been hiding under that rock for a while. So I just went around there, did a little bit of patrol, moved some rocks around, went on the driveway, made sure that there's nothing there. There were a couple little, and now finally we need to make sure my little water pipes are not freezing up. Checked in the basement. It was just about 65 degrees in the basement, and in the house was pretty warm as well. We need to make sure it's completely warm, but the pipes are completely covered up, so that's good. I made sure to walk around the yard, making sure there was no threats there, because my dogs are out in this yard like a lot of the time, so yeah, they also checked around the yard to make sure that there's nothing they would trip on, because they run around pretty fast, and sometimes they trip on some things here and there. Moved a bit of sticks around for, like, the hell of it. Like, I don't know, I just moved it around for, like, absolutely no reason. So I just wasted like 3 minutes of my time, like a couple seconds of my life doing that. But then I walked over here, checked on the grill, some other pipes there, and yeah, they all look pretty good. So that was it.
Alright, y'all, right now it is the 23rd of September. Currently getting some wind up here because of a hurricane near us. But yeah, we are going to be harvesting some of the gourds since they're all dead. Well, I'm expecting to get maybe like 25 to 30 gourds out of this. So yeah, let's start.
Alright, so we're gonna start over here at this one right here. You might be able to see it. This one has just been a big highlight of the season. So we can officially say that this is the first gourd. Now we are going to cut it right here. Well, here is our first gourd of the season. I can tell this is complete because it's not like really squishy or anything. This is a really healthy gourd plant. And well, let's put it in this thing. And now is our first gourd. Alright, let's get right back to harvesting, y'all. We're gonna harvest the other green ones. Alright. We're gonna harvest one more before I put the camera in time-lapse mode. This one has been a really funky shaped pumpkin. But now it isn't because now I just cut it off. And here you go, this is your gourd. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with all these gourds, but they are going to be really good for the farm stand. Yeah, let's put this thing in time-lapse.
this is what we currently have so far. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gourds so far out of the garden. So let's get those clippers and let's start getting some more. So in this clip, I'm gonna harvest a couple more on camera because, well, I do want to show you a couple of them because the harvesting process is pretty cool. And here is the thing. All right, let's harvest maybe this weird colored one because they have so many different variations. And this is the only one of its kind I've seen so far this year. And there's just a random beetle right there. I don't know. There's another one. But it's not on the plant so far, hopefully. So I'm just gonna throw this guy in here. Well, there we go. Now, so if you're wondering what that black thing in there is, that's actually my other recording camera. So yeah, let's harvest one more of these cool guys. I don't know what type of bug that is, but there is one right there, and that's for sure. Yeah, there's another one right here. As you can hopefully see. Let's throw that guy in. And then, yeah, sorry about my rooster being loud out in the background. He is well known for being really loud. And yeah, let's cut this cool looking one right here. That has a really thick stalk, so I'm thinking that because of that, it's gonna be a little bit on the harder side to cut. But here we go, we have this big one. Almost looks like a corn, almost looks like corn. But yeah, we did get a couple on this harvest. So far, we've gotten a couple so far, and I will say, pretty impressed so far. Alright, so let's harvest these two. These two are a little bit more on the unhealthier side. But you know what, we can deal with ones that are like this later. This one might be a little bit more on the unhealthier side. But oh well, it's coming in with it. Doesn't matter. Because, well, let's harvest those. Alright, let's also get this one too. Why not? Well, there we go. We got this one. This one's a lot more healthier than that one. Still not as healthy. It's not nearly as healthy as all these other ones in here, but still pretty healthy. Alright, so I was wrong like 95% of the time about these pumpkins in this array of colors not being there again. Now, I did film this clip originally, but it died. But my camera died, so you know what I have to do? I have to refilm it. And I already harvested one, so yeah. And this one is trying its hardest to get its vine killed. But you know what? Who cares about that? Because these guys are already basically dead. Because usually once they get to about this age, well, they're usually not really alive anymore. And well, here's one of these cool colored gourds. There's even more by the harvesting bin right now. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let me show you some more of me harvesting this. Because I figured it would be cool. Because this is a lot less common than all the other colors. So we got this one. We're going to take this one in, like so. So we have this one right here. And yeah, by the way, at the end of the video, I'm also going to be showing you the 2 harvests we got out of this thing. Because I will say it is pretty cool when you take a look at it. We got 17 pumpkins last night, approximately, and yeah, I must say, that's a little bit higher than I expected. I only expected about 6 to 10 pumpkins, but my hopes did get a little bit set too high, and you know, when all that happened, for some reason, my expectations were actually exceeded on that one. Alright, let's harvest this one. Let's harvest these 2. There's one right here that I want to harvest, because, well, this is one of my favorite colors. Yeah, I will say we have maybe like about $20 worth of gourds in there, because each of them you sell approximately $1. Yeah, gourds aren't really worth as much as they seem, but they are still worth plenty. And hey, it's pretty cool harvesting them, so hey, at least that's the rewarding part of it, actually. And yeah, can't wait to edit this while, you know, it's actually warm in the house, because, well, out here it's starting to get a little bit on the windy side and a little bit on the cool side. currently sitting out here in a steady 48 degrees right now, here in growing zone 6A, which, when come to think about it, in the winter, I'm probably just gonna like say, wow, that's actually warm, when I come back and review this video later in the winter and be like, what was I doing? Bro, like seriously, what am I doing with my life? Because I literally cannot find the pumpkin I just wanted to harvest. Art, here it is. Alright, so we're gonna go down here. We're going to harvest that. It also took the leaf, but that's okay. And yeah, this is our pumpkin.
32 gourds. And we're probably not even halfway done. I have to get this thing done in maybe like another 15 to 20 minutes. So I need to get this thing out quickly, but 31. Now 32, but that is still a lot of gourds. Why is this thing flipped? Oh well, I can just revert that in the editing. Not a big deal, I can do that. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it like this. Maybe I can make a good old short out of this. Because gourd harvesting is pretty fun. You know what, tons of people like gourds. But like, I don't know of any people that I don't know of any people that actually use gourds to carve. Like, if you use gourds to carve pumpkins, you're either A, really talented, or B, have a lot of free time, because nobody wants to go out and carve, and even attempt to carve something into something that looks like this. I mean, maybe with someone with a lot of free time and a lot of skill might, but yeah, I don't think anyone is going to attempt. And for those of you that do, well, feel free to tell me in the comments below if you did. And well, feel free to tell me what I should do with my spare gourds, because, well, I'm not going to be... Because, of course, you can't just sell them. But I don't want to get rid of every single one of them. But gourds like this, that are being attacked by, like, birds and stuff, these need to be thrown into the chicken yard. Hey, chickens! Ugh. No excitement. Oh well.
So for the longest while, I've actually had peppers in my garden, and because of that, we've had some gourds that were going around the area and sprawling on them. We've already harvested them off camera. Yeah, no, I'm a doofus for allowing myself to do that. But you know, I figured I'd show you another cool section of this. So we have some gourds on this wall that have been grown with us for the entire season. So let me just cut them off. I'll grab them in like a minute. But yeah, we need to cut these guys off, like so. They're just gonna fall right down to the ground. And, well, there's also one other cool one I'd like to show you before I put myself in a time-lapse mode. And it's this gourd right here. This gourd right here has to be the weirdest shaped gourd I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Tell me if you've seen one even weirder, but look at this thing. How do they manage to come up with such creative shapes? We've gotten 63 gourds out of the garden. We might come up close to nearly 70. Four gourds so far. Usually takes around 7 or 8 gourds to equal one normal sized pumpkin. But wow, now it's up to 86 because of these two. I am genuinely impressed of our garden this year. This year wasn't that big on really like normal pumpkins, but gourds absolutely. Look at all these gourds. It looks like a stock photo, but it isn't. All them different colors in there. Here are my chickens right here. Yep, they really did enjoy this harvest. So much so that they kept following me around every time I'm doing this. I think we might get like another 10 to 15 more if I can find them. 10 to 15 more alive ones, if you're wondering. Because, well, not every gourd is expected to be alive. But I will say, tons of gourds this year, tons of them. In such a big volume, too. I'm actually genuinely impressed. Like, it looks like a stock photo, but it isn't. Because, well, if it was a stock photo, my channel would be extremely unoriginal. So yeah, let's harvest a couple more. So let's get this one. 87, I think. Yeah, 87, 88, 89. Alright, I'm gonna remember where I put that. So we got these three. Now we're up to 89. So yeah, I'm about to put my camera into time-lapse mode. The only issue with that would be that it might be a little bit longer, so I'll have to speed it up. And well, that's more editing work on me. So my dream of 100 gourds was not achieved. We got a total of 93 gourds in here. That is still a lot of gourds, trust me. And yeah. Let me show you the pumpkins too. Alright, so here are the two side by side. So here are our 93 gourds. And here are the pumpkins. Usually it's about 6 gourds that make up a pumpkin about, you know, this size. So got around 15 pumpkins and plenty of gourds. Around 93. Yeah, this is our harvest. The fall harvest has been done officially now. In case you don't know, on this channel I don't only have chickens, I also have ducks. But since I rarely ever make content about them, I figured I'd do it for the first time in almost 2 months. Let's begin. My ducks have become desperate to find a new area. So you see, as chicken keepers and duck keepers, sometimes, you know, I make videos about ducks every once in a few millennia. But that doesn't matter anyways, because my channel name has chicken in it, okay? And so basically what we did was we blocked off the ducks from getting to access the outdoors. However, first thing come home yesterday, I step off the bus expecting to just like get a normal blast of fresh air and plenty of time to do things like this, touching grass. But instead of doing that, the first thing I see, as I even drive past my house, I don't even have to get off the bus to see the fresh blast of 65-degree air. Instead, all I have to do is just look outside. And there is my duck, outside, all the way over there, like 20 feet from the yard. Scared the living daylight out of me. I was like, how did this duck get out? So my first thought was to just put a rake down there, put it face down so that way no injuries could come off of it. However, it would be a win-win. No injuries and no escaping. But I don't even know if that's the way the duck gets out of their yard. There could be another exploit somewhere in this yard that I have no idea even exists. And I have no idea where it could even be. Just so you know, it's this duck right here. Not any of my two cayugas. Just my Rowan, the Quacken. You know, they live in here. We have a broody chicken in here. Loudmouth, I don't know if you could tell. She's trying to brood duck eggs. And we ain't letting that happen, no. And yeah, here's the duck egg from last video. So you can see, obviously ducks need more land than chickens. They're bigger, and well, they just need more land in general. So where are they supposed to go? What's a duck supposed to do in this? Well, that's why we need to move them. But there's a reason we haven't yet done it. And that is basically because there was several fox attacks when we were there. They were much more numerous than the one that killed 4 chickens well over a month ago. Instead, they happened every couple of days, and it took 1 chicken, about 20 feet from this yard. Which, you know, when you have things like that happening, you don't want to move your chickens to an area even more at risk. Because, knock on wood, there's no attacks on this predator. Oh my god, there's no attacks in this flock. At least not yet. For a long time. By a long time, I mean a long time. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you did enjoy, Like and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing double daily uploads for the remainder of June. Well, the end of June, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because my birthday week is there and I have tons of events planned. So I guess I'll have to schedule a few videos to come out then. What's good, everybody? In today's video I'm going to be showing you all how to do chickens out in the suburbs. My last video broke 100 views in like 15 hours, so I guess we'll do that again today. The first thing you need to remember is that in the suburbs there are much different laws about chickens out there than down here out in the countryside. So one thing to always be noting is that you probably can't have roosters like this one right here. His name's Waldo. You probably can't have roosters like that because there's a disturbance. Like imagine like you have like a really tight area, like a tight neighborhood. You have like a backyard big enough to have chickens in them. So instead of that, so in that chicken yard you have a rooster. Imagine how much sanity your neighbors are gonna lose off of that. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't really be keeping roosters out in your local neighborhoods, but you still can. But I'd highly recommend checking up with your town about that. So now it's time to set up the area that you're gonna be having your chickens out in. So a good place is usually in a well open area, away from any sort of stuff. So if you have like a garden, like in yesterday's video, that's one thing I might recommend you keep away from them. So yeah, it's one thing you should really be keeping away from your chickens is your garden. And yeah, there are other things you should be keeping miles from your chickens, like foam and other stuff like that. So yeah. Now that you learn what you should be keeping away from your chickens, now it is officially time that you get your chickens. Just remember one thing, it doesn't matter if you're in a suburban neighborhood, you will still get things like owls at night. So you are still going to need a chicken coop. And it still doesn't matter how many coyotes you have in your neighborhood or wolves. I don't know what you have in your suburban neighborhood. They will still occasionally be in your yard, so make sure your chicken coop is just as strong as you would build it if you lived out in the countryside. So that's just a few things you should keep note of. Just because you're in a much more densely populated area of town doesn't make you completely away, just separated, isolated from predators. So always remember, predators are still a real threat. It is one thing you should always be keeping note of. Predators are still a real threat no matter where you are. Like you could be raising chickens in downtown, you're still gonna have predators there. Now the raising process still goes as follows. You should still be doing that sort of raising process that you usually do in anywhere you live. So it doesn't matter where you're gonna be living, you should still have the same raising process. Keep them in a brooder till it's warm enough for them, decrease the brooder by 5 degrees every week, and then let them outside once the temperature outside since the temperature outside is equivalent to the brooder. No more, no less. It can still be more though. Now that all of your chickens are set and ready and now they're outside and having a good time, just remember, you're better off rearranging them in your backyard than pasturing them. Because what's really the point of pasturing them in a yard? So this is where your chicken coop can be like completely stationary. It's kind of see the lunar eclipse. You see that like red light over there? They're starting to come into view. There's a lunar eclipse right now. I'll take a few pictures of it tonight, so that way if it's cloudy in your area, you can get a few pictures of it. You see it yet? So you can kind of see it from here. I'm about like 5 or 6 feet up in the air. Kind of see it, right? I ran up here just in case. You see it? Alright, so I'm still getting settled over here, but you can kind of see it from here. I think you can. Do you see it? It's right there. I just know something that like my eyes aren't picking up on directly, but like the cameras. If you look like around there, you can kind of see like a little like crescent on there. I don't know. I think it's just the camera quality, but you can tell me what it is in the comments below. But you can kind of see there's kind of glow coming off of that. Now I can see that in person. I literally can't help myself. It's starting to glow on camera. I guess I just need to like clean my camera. I don't know. Looks really cool, right? Yeah, I definitely need to clean my camera. So there's the moon. It's starting to get shrouded a little bit because it's starting to get a little foggy over here. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I can be out here for. The mosquitoes are just like killing me out here right now. I'll try to take a few more pictures. Alright, we are in full-fledged eclipse right now. You can kind of see it's like completely dark out, but there's the whole freaking thing. Damn. That thing. It's making a huge ray. Making glare. It's really cool. Alright, that was it for today's video. If you did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I make vlogging videos about my farm life, so this is just one I felt like y'all wanted to see. So in tonight's video, I'm going to show you the good and the bad sides of having roosters. Let's begin. The most one that people often don't know how to contradict is the bad side. It is always the first thing you see when you look up roosters. So I'm going to show you a few bad signs of roosters. So if you look at my chicken Summer right now, you can see she's a lot of missing feathers on her back. That is when roosters just jump on their chickens, and they also tend to lose feathers around their head. And not only that, but they're also responsible for injuries of several chickens, because when they push them down, their legs go down. And when that happens, there are some fractures at the tip of their leg that can happen. That is not what happened to Sprinkles, though. So, they could also cause stress among chickens, but still. There are also some really good things about roosters that I'll discuss later. But look at these chickens. Would you want any of them to be attacked by this thing right here? That probably weighs 4 or 5 pounds on a 2 or 3 pound chicken? I highly doubt it. On the good side of having roosters, there are a few good sides to having roosters, but there are also a few bad sides. They're kind of 50-50. So a few good sides about roosters is that most of them are protective. And when I say most of them, I'm talking directly to this thing right here. So basically, some roosters do absolutely nothing. And those are basically the roosters I like to call decorative roosters. They serve zero purpose, but they're still there. And that's basically Falcon and Snow White. But sometimes you'll have a rare case with a rooster where, like, you know, when a rooster attacks you, but still doesn't do absolutely anything. But when it all comes to it, there are still a few bad signs with roosters, but some good things are that they will defend your flock most of the time. And also a lot of the time, if they, like, try to attack you, that's also sometimes a good sign, meaning that they are only trying to keep their territory within their range. And they'll also risk their lives to fight off. And yet they'll also sometimes try to free themselves from predators. I have a video about my rooster like that.
Today is the 30th of December 2022. It's about 64 degrees right now. Alright, so we're gonna check on them first, of course, because I know a lot of people out there are like, how do you do this so much? So here are my chickens right here. You can see here's Cute right there. There's Loudmouth. She's a really cute chicken. And Right there's Rogue. She's the one that's in a lot of my thumbnails and my profile picture at the moment. There is Lovey. We have a barred rock, the black and white, the one that just picked out, the one that just pecked the camera is Mrs. Peepers. There's Falcon, he's my rooster. He's a bit of an idiot some days, and other days he's not. Chicken Burger decided to eat the mud water. I guess she's at one right there. I just do this check-in to make sure everyone's here. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right here. And yes, we have 6 so far. It's about that's actually 50% of the chickens are following me right now. And Rogue is in there, so that's 7. And if you look right next to Rogue, you'll see that there's another black and white one. That's Summer. And then right behind there's What the Cluck. So that makes 9. So we're looking for more. So there's here, I'm gonna go to the other side where you can see them better. So Abro and Burnt Chicken Tender right here. So there's Abro right there. I don't know if you can tell. She's right there. And then Gray Cloud is right there, that gray one that's moving out. She's really fluffy. She's a really fluffy chicken. And then Burnt Chicken Tender somewhere in the bush. Right there. There's Burnt Chicken Tender. You can see Gray Cloud's right there. And Burnt Chicken Tender's right there. If you want to say BCT, which is what I say because, yeah, I like shortening my words a lot because I talk too fast. There it is. There she is right there. She's a really friendly chicken. But the chicken that loves being pet the most is Lovey. And yeah, she usually follows me around everywhere we go. Alright, so these chickens eat a lot of food, so what we have to do occasionally is we need to fill it up a little bit. We don't need to fill it up a whole lot since there's still a little bit of food in there. But I still figured I'd put this on the camera. Anyway, so these are the food we're using right now. They're not laying too many eggs, but there was a couple chickens in the boxes this morning. So we're going to put some food in here. And there you go. So you can see Rogue is going over there. And there's What the Cluck too. There's Lovey right there. She got a little bit of frostbite on her comb because we had a high in the sub-zeros on Christmas Eve, but yeah, it's back up into the 60s. It's supposed to get up into the mid to upper 70s next week, so yeah, it's supposed to get real warm over here. There's the duck eating them, and if you're wondering about ducks, if you're wondering about What the Duck, because I know you might have heard that she was actually attacked by a fox. She is doing just fine, actually. In fact, she's made I'd believe she's about 95% recovered. So if you see that, if you see all those white right there, that's What the Duck. She's back out with the flock after being out for just about a month. Alright, so because these are my spoiled chickens, and sorry if there's any wind, it's a bit windy out here today. It's like 10 miles per hour. So yeah, they're pretty spoiled, so we're gonna go give them some of their favorite treats right now. Alright, so we got some mealworms. If you're wondering what these are, they're basically worms dried out and stored. I don't know exactly how to make these because we don't have these types of worms here, but these were once worms, if you're wondering. Really, albeit really small ones. So because I really enjoy doing this, I'm gonna hand feed them right here. You can see them coming up. And yeah, some of them drop it on the floor, so that's why they do that. And there's the rooster alerting everyone of food. So yeah, we have the barred rocks, and here comes Burnt Chicken Tender. And What the Cluck is coming too. I'm probably gonna give them another batch in a minute. And plus there's still some on the ground there. So yeah, we're really enjoying my company right now. So yeah, you can see them right there. They're eating out of my hand. They really love doing this a lot, and I mean a lot. Chickens love this. And there's still some on the ground because they drop it everywhere. They're really messy chickens. And there's probably gonna be a couple more chickens that end up joining in the coming minutes. So yeah, eating the remnants and leftovers. So yeah, we're gonna do it for more chickens real quick. Let's get some more. So this batch is for the chickens that ended up missing it. And you know what? Because Chicken Burger's over there, and Chicken Burger's a really bratty and spoiled chicken, I'm gonna walk over to there with these chickens following me because, you know, you might saw my short called Chicken or Chickens, I don't know, where I put out a short, and basically the chickens just kept following me. So here comes Chicken Burger. Here comes basically oh, the ducks are eating them out of my hands too. That's very uncommon actually, when the ducks do that. So here, the tip is to leave your hand wide open for these chickens, because if you have a rooster, they'll actually peck at your fingers a little bit. So you gotta make sure that they're not doing just that, because I know chickens can be a little bratty sometimes, but it's just the way they roll. You know what? Chickens love doing this, so that's what they're gonna love doing. So yeah. And here comes Gray Cloud, but there's still some remains on the ground. So yeah, I'm guessing that she's gonna finish some of them up. Because yeah, Gray Cloud is also a really bratty chicken. We have a lot of bratty chickens here. But I still love them, and they're just about 3 years old. Most of them. Gray Cloud's coming up on about 2 years of age. And yeah, if one chicken's slightly less attention than the other, this is probably my most bratty one about attention that I'm petting right now. They'll jump up onto my lap and start pecking at my hair, so yeah. So right now it's winter time. And when come winter time, the chickens love laying in here. I could definitely see a couple nests are being formed. Of course I don't see any eggs because they're just making sounds, because I know there's a hawk near us, and yeah, that hawk is really causing some issues around here. You know, the hawk's being a little bit of an annoying moron, but yeah, it's just the way hawks are always going to be. So we're going to go into the chicken coop, we're going to check in here for eggs. And yeah, my disappointment's immeasurable. There's none, because these chickens aren't laying, because it's been it got so cold so quickly over here that, like, yeah, now it's warming up. There's definitely some that are attempting to lay their eggs, but they're just coming up on about 3 years of age. So yeah, the farm flock's actually going back into egg laying. We're probably getting close to about 6 to 9 eggs per day from a flock of 28 chickens. So I hope you enjoyed the part where I just talk about my chickens. Now it's time to hear my chickens cluck with a little bit of music on in the background. Alright y'all, today is December 11th, 2022. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow today. I don't know if this is going to make it to the Christmas Eve video or not, but we're going to see what happens out here. Currently we have about a dusting out here. I don't know how much we're actually going to get. I don't know if I can even complete this video here, but I'll try to. But right now it does look like we are in for a good storm, and maybe about an hour. It's going to start snowing half an inch an hour for a long time. And it's going to crank down after midnight. We're finally seeing it at about 4 or 5 in the morning. So I don't know if I'm going to have classes tomorrow, because it's the 11th. It's not the 24th. But this is snow, and I will say that. I'm not actually that disappointed in this already. Like, we're already seeing a sizable snowstorm this early in the season. That's actually impressive, kind of, honestly. It's nice to get into the roads or driveway. Now, this one, of course, it is sticking to, but not the main one. Don't know why, though. So it's picking up speed a little bit out here, looks like. Look at all that snow. Oh. Alright, so it's snowing out. As you might be able to see. Probably gotten close to, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch of snow. So yeah, as you can see, it is coming down, hopefully. You can see there is plenty of snow around the area, you know. We're getting something, it looks like. can see the top of the car is coated. We're getting somewhere with this, at least. Don't know how far we'll get with this, though. I want it to be like 6 or 7 inches, but this is not the type of snow you want 6 or 7 inches of. Let's take this, ball it up, and I throw it. Doesn't fall apart. This is not the type of snow you want 6 inches of. Alright, now take a look at these Christmas lights. You can probably see at least the lights. Don't know if you can see the snowflakes flying around. It looks so cool. I'm gonna hold the camera still. It's looking nice. I'm gonna have to go to somewhere else to finish off the video though, but it's still pretty cool. Look at this. These cool things, they look like snow flowers. Got about an inch. We're back home, and over where I was, we got like 3.5 inches, but over here, looks like we got closer to like 5 or 6 inches over here. We probably got like about 6 inches up here, maybe at the very most 7. Was a lot more than I actually expected. Yeah, this is probably like 5 or 6 inches. Chicken yard, well, chickens are definitely not coming out this morning. As you can see, there is snow up here. This is like 5 or 6 inches. And here, see that there are going to be chickens. As you can see, they're not very pleased with the storm. Probably going to come through here later and snow blow this all out though. And plus it's probably going to get to about 30 today, so some of this might just melt. But I don't know. There's like 5 or 6 inches on the ground up here, but down there, here's like 4 inches. Here, I'm gonna show you guys the backyard real quick. We have the dogs, because we have dogs here. Here they are, they're playing around the yard, having a good time. We have all this snow to play with too. And I might as well just film a farm tour for my 12 days of thing today. And yeah. Alright, so that was it. We did finally get the snow over here. It's so random. Like over here it's like 2.5 inches, but up there it's like 7 inches. So it's so random where it actually is. But I hope y'all have a Merry Christmas this year. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing this year because it's like December 13th right now. This did not happen Christmas Eve night, unfortunately, although that would have been very cool if it did. So yeah, that was pretty much all I had to offer for you. But during this year, for every single snow event that occurs, every single one of them, except for the small ones, except for like the really tiny ones with less than an inch of snow, you're gonna see a video like the very next day. So be sure to like and subscribe too. Alright, so today is the 19th. It is like ridiculously early in the morning that when I'm filming this right now. Like, I'm not even joking. It's literally only like 5:15 right now, but we're going out there to film the video of the new chickens celebrating their, I believe, 13th week. I don't remember. 12 or 13, I don't remember. You'll see in the title. So let's give you an update on them. Alright, so if we travel right on over into the coop, you will notice that the chickens have been in the same spot for about a week now. We're moving them literally tomorrow, don't worry. So, if I go into here, you will see them right in here. You can see they're doing really nice in here. They're comfortable and they're really just chilling out in here. So, how are they all doing? What's the big news for last week? Well, there's been a lot of fighting at night. I was up here like 2 a.m. a couple days ago, and I hear loud noises coming from here. So I run over here saying, what's going on? And then I go in here and there's like the two white chickens over there are duking it out. It's the pecking order time from, I'm not even that surprised. But you can see all of them are doing just fine in here. They're living their best possible life in here. And for those of you that are brand new to the channel, since yeah, I've had a couple shorts do pretty good in the last couple days, you'll see that this coop over here is looking pretty nicely on the outside. So here is how it works. So basically there's 2 layers of chicken wire all put together by zip ties, really strong zip ties. And you'll notice there's this tire right here. This tire is really well put together for a very obvious reason. So that way it can easily be moved over and across the different regions of the yard. I really do find it extremely helpful, especially considering that these chickens are really, really messy and they definitely need to be moved to different territories every now and then. It's easy because they all move in sync with the coop, which makes it really easy to be able to move them to different locations in the yard, which I find these chickens are really cute and helpful because eventually they're moving into the farm flock, probably by the end of the next month. You can see how their peep is starting to morph into a little bit of a cluck at this point, like a sort of a cross between that point. They're like 11, 12 weeks old, 13 weeks old, I don't know. Whatever they are, they're looking more and more like they're going to start laying eggs, hopefully by September, maybe October, I don't know. Whenever it is, it's definitely going to help. And the coop door is easily put together with just a couple things and some chicken wire to top it all off. And here are the chickens. Obviously, I was already talking about them. So what breeds of chickens do we have in here? Mostly, all of them are Easter eggers, the ones with the beards, you know, as I said in that short a couple weeks ago. And the ones with the speckled feathers on them are either black or ginger sex link. I don't remember what they're called. The ginger sex link are literally just another word for ISA brown, or red sex link, I don't remember. Yeah, red sex link is just another word for ISA brown. And then there's black copper marins in here too. They're all nice and cozy, and I need to give them some feed and move them. So yeah, today's gonna be a pretty active day. I'll catch you guys in the next update. I have no idea how this happened, but one of my chickens got into the dog yard. Well, cool chicken, I guess. Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to tell if your chicken is a hen or a rooster at birth, at a week old, or at 4 weeks old. So let's go. Alright, so at birth you're going to notice a couple things, such as, well, their hackle feathers will be much bigger. If you don't know what a hackle feather is, I'll use my chicken Abro as an example. You might be able to see these feathers right here. It'll be better if I pick her up to show you. You can sort of see how these feathers right here sort of exist, and also you should be back in your yard, so that's what I sort of also picked you up to do there. Those are hackle feathers. If you notice, those are a lot bigger at birth. On a specific chicken, it's either a rooster or it's a really overdeveloped hen, which has been known to occur in some. And they're also a lot friendlier than hens at birth. Well, that's, well, pretty bad. I mean, pretty good. But that friendliness only stays for like a couple weeks before they enter their hormonal phases, and that stays like that for the rest of their life. And they also have bigger feet and legs as well. So you're gonna notice that they have a lot bigger feet and legs than the other chicks will, because, you know, roosters are just like that. They're a lot bigger, a lot more overdeveloped than hens, sort of. That's why a lot of roosters are actually like used for like meat a lot. So at 1 week old, you're gonna notice the rooster's gonna start challenging other chickens. It's my rooster Waldo sort of did this at about a week and a half old, where you're gonna notice that's like sort of like he's challenging all these chickens to like fights, and it's just like it's like a really rough phase. It's mainly for roosters, but has been known to happen for some hens. And also their comb will start developing. You're gonna notice that their comb will be developing. For hens, it does, all chickens have a comb at birth. It's just hens will be developing a lot slower and a lot more linear than roosters will. Roosters will have a surge, and then like a nothing grows for a week, and then another surge. Well, hens are a lot more linear with their comb growth, and they're also a lot bigger. You're gonna notice that. Like roosters will weigh a pound at about 6 weeks old. Hens will weigh a pound probably between 9 and 12 weeks old. That's the thing. Roosters are a lot bigger than hens actually are. Now, 4 weeks old, you're gonna know some random sounds. They don't really sound like crows. They sound like mumbling, and some combined with like a lot of like reverb, and That's basically what it sounds like for roosters at this age. They're going to be making these really weird sounds. This is their first crows. Now the rooster's crows will evolve off of this, and they will slowly but surely improve. A lot of times crows are actually asimilar. That was a very weird word. I should not have used asimilar. I should use similar. I don't know why I added the A there. They act a lot similar. Alright. They act similar. Their crows sound similar to their baby crows, except it's a lot better improved. And they're also similar to the breeds. Like my rooster rotisserie and shaving cream all sound the same as Waldo, except a bit younger. Also, their comb is humongous. Like, as long as they're not like Easter egg or branch, where they have like that very weird like comb right there, they're just fine. Their combs are humongous. Like, actually, they're massive combs. They have a lot of different feathers. You're gonna notice like the hackle feathers will be way bigger than the other hen's hackle feathers will. And also, they're a lot larger. If they're not crowing at this stage, and they're a hiding rooster. There's some breeds of rooster that hide. For Falcon, I didn't even know he was a rooster. Like, we hatched him out in February 2021. Didn't find out till June 2021 that he was a rooster and not a hen. Alright everyone, I've made several shorts on this, and one of them decided to absolutely explode into oblivion, and, well, we're going to be doing this as a long video today, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, grab some popcorn, subscribe, and enjoy. Alright, so we're going to start off with eggs. Now, this is probably almost always going to be my first point in any time I decide to make these videos, because eggs are an awesome opportunity. Well, I say you get free eggs, they're not 100% free, because you have to be able to raise them. Without any food, they won't lay any eggs. If you notice that like you're feeding them a bit less and their egg count starts to decrease, that could be a reason as to why that is occurring. Now, I want you to check out one thing here. Sometimes certain brands might put separate things that'll increase or decrease the amount of eggs you get from your chicken. So I'd recommend checking up on that brand's reputation, especially if they're highly controversial and have been really well known across multiple communities for putting bad crap into their chicken feed. So make sure you're feeding them the right stuff and also housing them as well, because if they're sleeping outside, then there's a good chance that their high stress environment will produce less eggs. Now, another thing I want to talk about here is giving them more than one food source. You can see we have multiple food sources out here, like grass, chicken feed should be the main source, but grass, other nutrients and worms and treats should be their secondary source. But keep in mind, make sure that their food is in an open place, or else you won't be able to find it. Now, are you sick of watching the same old TV show? Alright, no, I'm not going to do that again. So are you just... Chickens are just basically a great form of entertainment. All you gotta do is just sit back, relax, and watch them. Not only are they very entertaining, but one thing I want you to notice about them is that they're also pretty intelligent. It comes as to a surprise for some people, but they are a bit more intelligent than what the media nowadays has it depicted as. That's one thing I absolutely hate about chickens. Well, on the false misinformation that's spread about chickens is that they're dumb morons, there's nothing good about them. No, if you just watch them for 5 minutes, let them socialize, you can notice that their social patterns, their vocal patterns, and even the way they interact with each other is all very, very well thought out. They can literally remember their own position, and just by looking at that position will have you taking notes for hours. And I'm not talking about boring notes, I'm talking about fun notes that will definitely have you laughing and also having a bit of fun with your chickens. Just petting them is known to decrease mental health issues. At the number 3 spot, we're going to have Because They're Family. It's going to be pretty short because, well, this is a pretty useless one. But if you treat them the correct way, they're going to sort of add you to your flock. Like dogs add you to your pack, cats add you as they're enslaved, and chickens add you as part of the flock. If you go out to them enough, they will basically add you into that flock. I was one of the first people out here to be added into the pet flock, because these chickens think I'm part of the flock, and they're really confused as to why I don't sleep in their coop at night. Because I have better things to do than sleep in a chicken coop. So, yeah. Sorry, chickens, but I'm not sleeping in your coop tonight. Or tomorrow night. Or realistically, any of the nights to come. Now, at the number 2 spot, oh boy, this is going to have you relieved. Are you sick and tired of ticks? Oh my, they are just so annoying. The other day, I just walked out to the basement to go grab, I think it was just like a pizza crust or something from the freezer downstairs. And I walk down there, and I go back in my room, or into the kitchen where I'm about to cook the pizza. I look down, and there's a tick on me, and I'm annoyed. If I put those chickens in the area, I would notice a subtle decrease. As a matter of fact, just walking over here will get me more ticks than walking in the yard, despite the yard containing much higher grass. Chickens will not only do that, they'll also decrease bug population if you have a lot of chickens. Keep in mind, it takes a lot of chickens to do this. And we only have, I believe, as of right now, I haven't yet counted them tonight, but I counted them earlier. We have 12 chickens in here, so they're doing a really good job. And Kit Kat's out and about again. She was never out and about, and she's actually been taking down a lot of beetles and stuff, so I'd recommend them if you want that. Oh, you'll love this if you hate mowing your lawn. I made a whole 8-minute video on the subject matter. Mowing your lawn can be tough for some people. So why not just get some chickens, put them in your yard? Obviously you have to go through all the permitting process if you live in a suburb, but if you have a much larger backyard and room for chickens, then if you just set up a yard in an area and let them go out about it for about maybe a good 6 to 8 days, you're going to notice a significant decrease in grass cover and everything because they're pecking at the grass to be able to get all those bugs out from under. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 different things that'll make you the most money at your farm stand. So stick around to the end because the last one might even shock you. So the first one is going to be eggs. Now, eggs are pretty much the most generic thing you can sell at your farm stand. You can find these at a lot of farm stands, and that's why they're so low. But egg prices are pretty high, so depending on how much you sell them for, you can attract more or less people. If you're selling eggs for like $0.23 or just 23 cents, then, well, you're going to attract a lot of people to your farm stand, but that's not really going to be good. But selling them for $72 doesn't do anything either, so yeah. Alright, so next up is produce. So we're talking about vegetables, we're talking about fruits, anything you can get out of a garden, basically. Gardening is its whole separate thing that has a video linked in the description below, but I figured I'd mention it here because a lot of people do gardening and, well, they have an overload of fruits, vegetables, and other things that just, you know, they just have lying around because they don't have anyone that's going to eat that food, so sell it. Most vegetables go for a very, very decent amount of money, but not a whole lot of money. And if you sell them for the right amount of money, you can get tons of money coming into you. Next up, we have homemade or even just repurposed goods, basically. So basically things like, you know, like woodwork. This stuff holds in a lot of money. The reason it's lower on the list is because it's kind of miscellaneous and it's kind of random to see it, so you have to execute it in the proper way to be able to pull in the right amount of money. And the way to execute it is quite simple. You got to make sure you apply it in the correct way so that way it fits in. So choose a location, even the place where you put it on your price range just depends. So make sure it's a good price, and also other things might also matter as well. Number 2 are seedlings, especially in the months of April to early June. These types of seedlings that you can get, you know, like strawberry seedlings, even just typical garden seedlings, especially if you're people that have cats in their house, it's a good relief. And a lot of people want these vegetables in their gardens, so selling this stuff is good, but also selling seedlings for trees. Those make even more money because people love having trees in their backyard. Even just for decoration, selling things like, you know, potted flowers and other things like that, even just pottery in general, can make a decent amount of money with this sort of stuff. And finally, we got honey. This stuff goes for a lot of money. And I'm gonna say it again. Honey is so much, just sometimes you can get like a whole pound for $24, depending on where you buy them from. But I'm flashing up the average on screen right now as to how much money honey is typically worth, so you can apply that to your farm stand. And
in today's video, we are going to be talking about one specific chicken breed that will blow your mind with their egg production and their varied egg colors. We are, of course, talking about Easter eggers, and they're down there. We have 3 of them, and they can be mixed in with so many different breeds of chickens that if you get like 10 of them, that's 10 different varieties of eggs that you could be getting.
alright, So basically, we're going to be talking about the Easter eggers. And for the most part, they're usually between 18 and 30 inches long. Here's one right here. You see that gray one? That's an Easter egger. And the cool thing about these chickens is that if you look right there under their beak, you'll notice they have like, I don't know, sort of like a comb under there. Some Easter eggers have it, some don't. It doesn't matter. And not only that, but some varieties of Easter eggers also have fluffy legs. Whereas if you look at most of my Easter eggers, you'll notice they have an absence of fluffy legs, like falcon. That is simply because of the breeds they're mixed with. The reason they're called Easter eggers is because they lay a huge variety of eggs. They can be blue, they can be green, and sometimes even brown, with those two colors mixed in. For the most part, I have a bunch of blue-green eggs, so yeah, they'll be like split right between the middle of that. And that's the color of egg you're going to get from our chickens. The only green eggs we get here are from Gray Cloud, since she's a green queen mix, meaning she was mixed with a bunch of other chickens to create a green queen Easter egger.
Now, if you want a steady production of these chickens, how many chickens do you need? Well, to get a steady production of blue-green eggs, what you're going to want to need is usually, I want to say about 3 to 6 Easter eggers. But if you want to prioritize getting this, because green and blue eggs, you don't find them in the store. That's why they're called Easter eggers, because sometimes if you're going to make Easter eggs, for like Easter and stuff like that, you usually dye eggs. But for some of them, they already come dyed. And they do this year-round. Easter eggers are pretty productive hens, usually laying between, I want to say, 200 and 285 eggs per year. I also must say that these chickens are also real friendly, too, for the amount of eggs that they produce. But yeah, 3 to 6 chickens is a good amount if you want to make them your priority for production, more than 6. Usually, I want to say about 6 to 12 if you want to make them your priority. Because Easter eggers, they're pretty hard to come around. When you're going out shopping, there's none. And when you're trying to find them at farm stands, most of the time they're organized into different things. But for us, we just clean off the eggs and put them randomly into the cartons, meaning that you can have a normal brown egg from like our buffs or bards, and then you'll have a dark brown egg from our Marins, and then you'll have a couple blue eggs from our Easter eggers.
Now, since Easter eggers come in a huge variety of chickens, sometimes what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure they have more shade, especially when you look at those darker Easter eggers. I'm going to give you one of them, and since I'm too lazy to go down there, since it's like 95 degrees right now, I'm going to show you a picture. Burnt chicken tender. Imagine that chicken just goes out in the sun, and yeah, sunburnt. Almost is basically burnt chicken tenders. The reason is because, well, it's simply just like their feathers are just simply absorbing all the heat and stuff like that. So best bet is to make sure there's as much shade as possible. And this is for any other breed of chicken, regardless of that. Even buffs get hot sometimes. The reason is just simply because, well, they're not completely white chickens. Leghorns will absorb a lot less, meaning you might need a little bit less than 15% of the shade cover that you're currently using for your darker breeds of chickens.
Now, if for some reason you've never watched any of my videos before, which chances are just based on how many percentage of the viewers are subscribed to my channel, you probably haven't, basically means that you probably don't know some of the essentials that you might need for chickens if you're just beginning. And yeah, basically a couple of essentials I'd recommend for Easter eggers along with any other breed of chickens are waterers, feed, and yeah, they typically use about an average amount, so maybe like 9 to 10 inches of water per day per chicken, so not a lot. So usually around a pint of water per chicken per day, so make sure you have all that covered for them. And other stuff such as food, they usually eat around like 1/4 pound of food per day. In the summer, an entire flock of 1 dozen chickens will go through a 50-pound bag of feed, but in the winter, in 1 month, they'll go through like 3 50-pound bags of feed, just simply because all the grass around us is dead. And you might be wondering, why is the grass around me dead? Well, we're in a drought right now. and it's a very serious drought. We are in an extreme drought, so almost there. And yeah, you want any other tips and tricks videos? Yeah, this will be the last chicken raid video I'll talk about for now, before I talk about black copper Marin chickens later this month. Mowing the lawn can be painful, for some at least, but it doesn't always have to be that way. By the end of this video, I will show you how to literally cut off up to 75% of your lawn mowing work with just up to $30.
Throughout all my years of having chickens here on my farm, I've noticed something, is that setting them up in one area and leaving them there for a good maybe 6 to 8 weeks will decrease the grass percentage by nearly 95%. And I can prove this to you. So for the past, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 weeks, we've had them in this general area, except the fence was more expanded this way. And if you notice, there's a sudden cutout in grass right over here. That's because of the chickens. They do several things in this grass too. And here, let me show you. So you have dirt all over the ground right here. And you have really, like, thin grass here. And this area was just covered in weeds. Like, you wouldn't believe how many weeds are here. And this has all been mowed out by the chickens. In here is a really prevalent area. You can see there's like a lot of weeds surrounding it, but there's no weeds internally. That's because the chickens have been in there and just cleaning everything out. They are very helpful little creatures too, and yeah, you wouldn't believe how much they can clean out in here. And another thing they do is they dust bathe, and if you don't know what dust bathing is, it's when a chicken digs a hole and they play around with the dirt in it. Let me show you one example of a dust bath. So if you randomly go throughout your yard and you notice there's random holes like this that didn't appear beforehand, this right here is the cause of a dust bath. This whole area right here was a dust bath. And also areas where they eat have also caused great amounts of damage to the grass, as you can see, as well as the general area of the coop. Now this has also helped also thanks to our ducks, but since we have a lot more chickens than ducks, there's a greater prevalence of them. I'd say it's maybe a 75-25 split.
So not only do chickens also mow down your grass, but they also give you eggs, if you don't already know. So if you follow me into this coop, there should be eggs in these boxes right here. But as you can see, we've already collected them. From a flock of about 1 dozen chickens, like this flock right here, you usually expect to get, I don't know, maybe a good amount of eggs, like probably a total of maybe like 6 to 8 per day in the good days, but this time of year the stuff really starts to decrease. Sorry, my rooster is too loud for me to film around him. That's why I usually film elsewhere. But here we are. So we have several chickens, as you can see. Now there are several types of breeds of chickens that do much better with grazing, but they're all very similar. The ones I think do much better with grazing in our mixture is Buff Orpingtons right here, the yellow ones. Now these chickens, as you can see, they're currently working on mowing the lawn. And if you wonder why they're eating the grass, they're looking for bugs, and while doing so, as you can see, chickens were looking for bugs right here. While doing so, they also picked away at some of the grass there.
But it's not the grass the chickens also help you out with. If you notice in this area, there's significantly less leaves than everywhere around. Like sometimes, for some people like me, it's almost scary about that fact. Because there's significantly less leaves here. Not that the chickens are eating them, they're stirring them up to one general area. And I think this chicken can come to agreement with that statement. So, the reason why they do this is because they want grass to graze. And usually from about late April to usually about this time of year, you have plenty of green grass. And when the leaves fall on top of that, which is around this time of year, you have leaves overlapping the grass, and the chickens just want to get to that grass. They push it to a different area. It also has to depend on the trees, but most of the time we get about the same leaves as everywhere. But you can see the leaves are really piling up in this area compared to the number of leaves still on the trees. So this has to be the chickens' like little stash of leaves over here. And I've just been here for a couple of days too. That's incredible, man.
Now, if what I just said before really entices you to get chickens, how exactly do you raise them? Well, there are several videos, but I'm going to try to mash this down to like 1 or 2 minutes of content. So, you need a chicken coop. I have chicken coop design ideas video, and I have a how to build one video. And here we are. So this is basically what the chicken coop looks like, along with the duck coop for significantly less chickens and a low amount of ducks too. Now they also need food. I'd recommend a container, but because you don't really want to be spilling food all over the ground. This is just because the chickens And you need food containers, and yeah, you get that stuff. You need something to hold the feed. Obviously, you need water. This is the most important part. You have to refill them a couple times a day, or else the water will look like that. So I'm gonna have to refill that once the video's done. You also need other stuff too, like a yard to roam around in, especially a big one like this, because this is where they can find all the greens they want. And I will say, you don't have to provide them with food 24/7. And if there's one thing I'd like to tell you, is that they get about 45% of the food from you, and about 55% of the food from the outdoors. I was just about to say 65%, even though I know that's wrong. Now, there are also other ways to keep them. There's another way to raise them where you don't have to put them away or let them out in the morning. That's automatic coop doors, obviously. They lay a decent amount of eggs. Probably about, in total, a flock of about 1 dozen chickens will probably lay around 1,500 eggs per year or so. And that's just based on pure averages. If every chicken lays about the same number of eggs. But you have different types of chickens that lay they lay different types of eggs. So that number could be as low as 800 or as high as 1,500 to 2,000 in some cases.
So today's Christmas Day. It is December the 25th, 2022. And what better way to celebrate it than giving my chickens some of their favorite treats, because, well, that's the only Christmas present they ever want. Alright, so let me go over what I have in here. So there's some goldfish, some worms, some of their favorite duck feed, because chickens and duck feed, they can have the same thing. There's lettuce. There's bread at the very bottom. There's popcorn as well. They love all this stuff. Absolutely love it. And yeah, it's pretty cold out here today. It's about 19 degrees right now. A lot warmer than it was yesterday. Yesterday we only got up to -1. And water would freeze on impact on the ground. So yeah. And right now it's actually feeling like it's in the 40s, almost about 50. But it really isn't in reality. So yeah, here are some treats for our favorite chickens. There you go, chickens. Okay, here we go. Here they are. They're enjoying some treats over here. Here you can see Gray Clouds right there. There's Loudmouth. Rogue is joining in. I'm suspecting there'll be others coming in a minute. I gave them plenty for each of them to share, so I think some chickens might be heading over in a minute, but I don't know. There's 11. I don't know where Burnt Chicken Tender is. She's probably like over here. I don't blame the chicken. The chicken knows when it's too cold out. Absolutely, they know when it's too cold out. This is all a chicken really wants for Christmas, is just some treats like these. Here's my rooster. He's a little bit of an idiot some days. And other days he's not, on and off. Yesterday he was being a little mean, but not terribly mean. I did get flogged by him a couple times, but roosters do what roosters will do. The chickens, on the other hand, are very nice. They make really good additions as pets too, so. See, they're having a fun time right now over here. And just so you know, these are egg layer chickens. Since they're all approaching to 3 years old, and meat-laying chickens don't live for longer than 5 months. And in some cases, like 3 months, so. These are egg layers, except they're not laying any eggs right now. It's way too cold out here, I guess. Really enjoying themselves, looks like. Yeah. If you guys really want to help support my new videos, please like and subscribe, and also watch my lives all the way through, maybe help support them a little bit, so that way I can reach my 4K hours too, so yeah. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually have 2 flocks of chickens. Now we're gonna go over to this flock over here. We have 28 chickens. Just a couple short weeks ago, we only had like 18 or something. And yeah, I'm also gonna show you Shaving Cream and Rotisserie chicken, because yeah, they've grown up a whole lot. Kit Kat and Fluffball have also grown up, yeah. So before I feed them to them, you might remember, if you've been following this channel for a while, you might remember Waldo. Well, you might think this right here is Waldo, but this is not. This is rotisserie chicken, and that right there is Shaving Cream. They look a lot older now. Yeah, Waldo is somewhere over here. He's right there. They're basically like miniature Waldos, in a way at least. So yeah, we're gonna dump the feed over here, and yeah, let's see these chickens go to town with it. So I hope your Christmas has been half decent or very well working out for you, because some of you guys might have already been past Christmas. I know last night in one of my streams there was someone who has already passed Christmas. So yeah, if you guys already went past Christmas, hope it was good. It's about 4 p.m. right now here, so yeah, I had a pretty decent Christmas today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making more videos this holiday break, and see you in the next one.
Have you noticed that your chickens just aren't laying any eggs at all? Well, in this video I'm going to try to show you how to make your chickens start laying eggs more consistently than they might be doing already, so let's begin. So a lot of people ask me, why aren't my chickens laying eggs? And the first thing I say is, take a look at your chicken yard. And they take a look and they say their chicken yard is a royal mess. One of the things I want to say is make sure your quality of life in your chicken yard is the greatest it could possibly end up being. Because, basically, your chicken's life impacts a lot of things. If there's a weird smell in the yard, you're probably going to be spending a lot more time focused on that. And also, if there's a rooster mating with the chickens, that could also have a detrimental impact on egg production. So, either get rid of a rooster, or figure out a way to tame him if you want more eggs. Now, the probability of this being the case is significantly higher than there actually being a predation issue, but I'd recommend checking for both, since stress can be caused by a lot of things in chickens. It's very prominent if you notice their feathers are constantly puffed up, but also very prominent if you notice they're constantly in hiding. That's more of a sign of a predation type stress. A typical, like, molting season, rooster mating season type stress. It's just basically like they're losing feathers and laying less eggs. So you need to locate what the stress is, so that way you can find a way to remove the stress. If it's a rooster, you could try adding chicken jackets to the back of their backs. Diseases. We either love them or we hate them. Or like, we either hate them or we hate them. Diseases are some of the worst things that could possibly happen to one. They cause illness, ailments, and so many other bad things. Chickens can get them too. A little less common, but a little bit more severe. They can impact egg productions, especially if it's more than one chicken that's either A, egg-bound, or B, as egg yolk peritonitis. P.S. I'd recommend not looking up what egg yolk peritonitis is. You could probably guess what it is, though. So, another thing that you could also look out for is parasites and mites. While these guys are a little bit less harmful than the two diseases I just mentioned, they will still be a little bit of a nuisance, so I'd recommend checking for them. Mites and parasites are so easy to remove, you just need to spray your chickens with certain pesticides.
Have you ever wanted free eggs, but are just super overly concerned about chickens? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you about chickens and why you should get them. Just be sure to make sure that your city allows them and you're good to go. So one of the first things we need to discuss here is, well, egg production, because that's what you came on here to see, egg production. Chickens will lay up to 200 eggs per year, but depending on the breed you can get, you might be able to squeeze up to 350. I'm going to say Buff Orpington's right there. And Barred Rocks are pretty egg-heavy chickens, but I also have ISA Browns and the other flock that lay just about maybe like 7/8 of the year. So they lay a good chunk of the year, even if it's like freezing. Just remember to make sure you know what your climate is. I'll discuss that in a minute, but here are the cold hardy chickens. Since I'm from the Northeast and it gets real cold up here, you do not mess around with how cold it is. So I gotta say, egg production really good, but some chickens are less of the egg production family and more of the just chilling out and do absolutely nothing and decorative family. Now, I will say those chickens do exist, like Green Queens over there. They lay significantly less eggs, but you can see Easter eggers do lay a variety color of eggs. You need to make sure you know what your eggs are going to be like, because this chicken laid blue eggs right there. I don't know if you knew that chickens could lay blue eggs, especially if you don't have chickens. Well, if you do now, then you now know that. So hopefully that convinced you to get some breeds. I have a video linked in the description for that. Now, briefly, we're going to talk about roosters. Very loud, very annoying, and some cities don't like them there, so they ban them. So if your city has a rooster ban on them, make sure you check in. That's why I said check it with your town first, but if your city has a rooster ban on on it, well, don't get them, because they just don't want to hear their nefarious crows every morning. So yeah, pretty obvious for that, because you know they don't want to hear that annoying crow every morning. They're also pretty malevolent to you as well, so I'd recommend making sure that your rooster is not as bad as mine can be. And also, my rooster experience been 50-50. Now I gotta say, roosters enjoy mating with chickens. They do it multiple times a day per chicken, but they do have their choices. So that's why some chickens get absolutely beaten down and others don't. And when they mate, they jump on the chickens. Obviously, I'm not going to explain the process here, because I'd rather stay here. They will lose their feathers. That's as much as I'll say. So if you're concerned about that, if you still want a rooster, that's a risk, but I recommend a chicken sweatshirt. Yes, those exist. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard the term broody before. This is when a poultry bird usually, but also a lot of other birds as well, have the desire or intent to hatch out an egg. Now, chickens take 21 days to hatch. Ducks take 28, and I think quail takes significantly less, but I don't know just yet. So I will say they are quite obnoxious when it comes to broodiness, because they could range from very, very mild broodiness where they just sit on eggs for a couple hours of the day. But chickens spend 92% of their day with their broody on top of these chickens. The other 8%, they're either outside or just off the eggs for a couple seconds. So I will say they spend a lot of time on the eggs, and they're really annoying. So I will say they will scream at you without any care in the world, because they're just like that. They will bite you. They actually have caused some sustainable injuries before to some people. So I gotta say, broody chickens, quite obnoxious chickens, but if you want chickens for the purpose of selling or breeding eggs, broody chickens are what you need. Now, if you have a family of especially very young children, very naive people as well, I'd recommend chickens like this. You can see they have literally no intention of doing any harm, because you can see this chicken, a lot of chickens don't allow you to do that, but the 4-ring-10s will, so that's why you want to get that breed of chicken. But yeah, a lot of chickens in this flock, and even the duck, which I'll make a video on eventually, doesn't have any very bad intent inside of her. So I will say, very good overall chickens. Well, they're really fun, because if you have a chicken like this, it will eat out of your hand as well. Well, you're in for a lot of fun. So I'd say enjoy your chicken's company, because apparently, according to a study, birds do help improve mental health. So chickens are a really cool companion for that. Now, tips and costs. Now, I made a video originally a while ago, let's just say like 7 or 8 months ago. I made a video about that, and they're about like $2,500 a month, maybe a bit more than that, if you have a flock of 1 dozen chickens. Now, you need to make sure you're implementing all the costs here, because feed costs like $50 a month. Their housing costs a lot of money if you electrify it, but housing, like this one, I'd say back when we built this 2020, I'd say maybe about $1,500, maybe $2,000 about. It's not a whole lot. That's mostly because we built it on wheels, and that trailer was just rusting out on the property and needed to be put to some form of use. But building a chicken coop on wheels like that, that's probably gonna be more like $3,000 to $3,500. Depending on the size of the trailer, could be even closer to $4,000. So just remember that. And waters cost a lot of money as well, especially considering you have to pay for that sometimes as well. Chicken feed, you need to constantly be replenishing the supply, making sure and chickens in return do lay eggs, which does help you sell. And especially with nowadays, you put $8 into the chickens, you get $3 out. But with the $8 now per egg, if you sell them for $8, which is, well, very devious, you're gonna get $8 back. So I will say, egg income isn't the best, but at least you have fresh eggs to eat. And also, if you've watched this far, I'd say smash like and subscribe, and check out all my playlists where you can see the type of content you want to watch. So please click on my channel, and you can see all the videos you want to enjoy about farm life and living the life outside, everyone. Goodbye. Well, it's that time of year again, everyone. Everyone's going to the store trying to buy chickens and have literally no idea what they're doing and what breeds of chickens they want to get. So in this video, we're going to count on the top 5 best breeds of chickens for beginners. Alright, so kicking off the list at number 5, we're going to start out with Black Copper Marin chickens. Now, these chickens are these black ones right here. I don't know how much you can tell, and then there's the rooster right there. These are my OGs, and then we have a couple new ones we got recently. Now, if you don't know how much money Black Copper Marins are, they range from $10 to $60, but they are a bit pricey sometimes. But I do gotta tell you, they are very good chickens, and they lay a decent amount of eggs. They also lay dark brown chocolate eggs, and I'm going to show you what they look like in a minute if they have any in the coop. But yeah, I gotta say Black Copper Marans are very impressive chickens in honest opinions, so yeah, that's why they earn themselves a number 5 on the list. Now, contrary to my other video, I'm going to have to put Easter Eggers at number 4. It's my chicken right there, right there. Contrary to that video, because I had them much higher up in the video. Now, the reason I put them at lower spots is because these chickens are sort of the nerd or geek of the flock. And they will find out any particular way to jump over the fence, and they will outsmart any system. 2/3 of the escapees in the flock over there are my Easter Eggers. Now, I gotta say, Easter Eggers are very smart chickens, so that's why I call them the nerd or geek. But other than that, they lay blue, green, maybe even pink eggs occasionally, if you get the right mix. But here's one right here. They deserved just about the number 4 on the list. But if it wasn't for them being so geeky that they could escape a yard, they would probably be much higher on the list. Now, contrary to other people's lists, I'm going to put Barred Rocks at number 3. So if you don't know what a Barred Rock is, this chicken right here, that black and white one, they have black and white stripes, whereas their name Barred Rock comes into play. They're the second best egg production chickens on this video. And I gotta say, these chickens very friendly. Some people say they're a bit mean. And yes, if you don't know what a pecking order is, it's a list and order where chickens place themselves in Barred Rocks. Usually find themselves at the midway or top tier because of how strapped these chickens come with very favorable traits. So yeah, I gotta say Barred Rocks are very favorable chickens. There goes my duck. And they're also very favorable chickens. They lay maybe up to about 250 to 300 eggs per year. So yeah. Now at the number 2 spot, I'm gonna put IAC Browns, or ISA Browns as some people call them. Now, if you don't know what an ISA Brown looks like, I don't know how much you can tell, but behind those roosters over there, there is an ISA Brown chicken. She's like brown, unsurprisingly. And they're definitely the best egg production chickens. They lay up to 350 eggs per year. Here's one right there. And they are very friendly too. They're like the dream chicken, sort of. They're like the more tame versions of Rhode Island Reds. And in fact, they also have the Rhode Island Red traits inherited into them. They're a crossbreed between multiple chicken breeds. So that's why they lay so many eggs and are also very friendly, and also do sometimes have characteristics of those Rhode Island Red chickens right there. ISA Brown behind all those weeds. ISA Browns are very good chickens, and if it wasn't for just this one chicken, they would be at the top. Now, taking the cake at the number 1 spot, best broody chicken, best egg layers, potentially, and also most friendliest, almost the dream chicken here, are the Buff Orpingtons. The reason they place much higher on the list from ISA Browns is because you can get these chickens easily more bred for more of like a pet flock experience. Like this chicken right here, you can see how little she is bothered about me petting her. You can see right here, very cute chicken, doesn't really mind me at all. Now that's what I gotta say. Buff Orpington chickens are those chickens that are the dream for you. So I gotta say, if you want a chicken right now, Buff Orpingtons, ISA Browns, and all the other chickens on the list are definitely the starting options for you.
So yeah, I got a barn that I can hide out in. Let's do this. Oh, that's a nice cloud. I don't know if that's the rare type, because there's like a type of cloud that forms like out ahead of like a front, and it looks exactly like what you might see, and that's very rare, I think. I'm gonna record the height of the storm right now, just with the lightning and stuff. There goes another one. Lightning is so bad that I literally had to take my hands off my keyboard more than once. So soggy out here. Looks like the lightning strikes is. Whoa, there goes another one. I don't know if this is yet ready, but I'm gonna see if it is, because it's easy to pull them off when they are ready. And well, looks like we got our first cherry tomato of the season here. We're in it for the rain. We need the rain. Whoa, that was a good one. Whoa! Holy.
Alright, so it looks like we just finished up with the snow. Looks like it's about to start raining here. Maybe a little bit right now. But I can still get out here and just show you around really quickly. Yeah. Look at this. These cool things. They look like snowflowers. Got about an inch. Back home, and over where I was, we got like 3.5 inches. But over here, looks like we got closer to like 5 or 6 inches over here. We probably got like about 6 inches up here. Maybe at the very most 7. was a lot more than I actually expected. Yeah, this is probably like 5 or 6 inches. Chicken yard, well, chickens are definitely not coming out this morning. As you can see, there is snow up here. This is like, alright y'all, so last night it was about 30 degrees and we got about a dusting of snow over here. It's about 31 right now, so I figured I'd show you some of these amazing scenes, because if you look over here, you might be able to see that snow is covering just about everything. It looks pretty cool, so I figured, well, why not show you all this? Because, well, I mean, take a look at this thing. Alright, so obviously the snow did not stick to everything because, well, before this we got like almost 2 inches of rain, so yeah, this was actually originally supposed to be 1 to 5 inches of snow, but well, look what happened. Alright, so just yesterday was 42 degrees, and this is all just a bunch of water, and you can literally see that it's sort of coming out of the hill too into this main area right here. Nice little swale we built back in 2020. Caused a couple of I don't know about you, but I am the one that has to shovel the snow around here. And I've been doing it probably for close to 8 years now. And I'm gonna be telling you 3 of my most embarrassing stories. Stick around. This is genuinely like, what? Alright, so this is not gonna be the only one we're gonna be talking about that happened in January of this year. So January 7th, I wanna say this happened on, yeah, January 7th, we had a winter storm come through here. Don't remember its name, but we had a winter storm come through here. And you know, with these winter storms, they're really unpredictable. Like the other day, they said we were gonna get 1.6 inches of snow, and we got 7 inches. Video coming soon, hopefully. And then with that, this storm was basically the same thing. They said we were gonna get about 3 inches of snow. That did not happen. I'm sorry to say this. We got 14 inches of snow, and everything was a massive ass show. So, you know, I just was like, you know, I'm gonna shovel the snow a little bit on video. And that clip is still up. Man, I spent 2 minutes shoveling that 14 inches of snow off the driveway. It did not go that well. Once I was done with that clip, I had to cut off like 3/4 of it. Because there's like, it was awful. Man, shoveling that snow was the worst. I mean, it was like that type of snow that's in between wet and heavy and powdery. So you have 14 inches of that. The shovel almost snapped and oh, it was a disaster. 6.7 out of 10 fail. Alright, keeping on my promise, this was a bigger winter storm. So, back on, I believe it was January 29th, 2022, we had a winter storm. I think the name was Keenan. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But this winter storm is going to roll through here, and it was going to bring us, they were saying anywhere from 6 inches of snow all the way up to 36. I mean, what were they gonna do? I mean, in our town we got, I believe it was 11 inches. A town over was like 2.5 feet. Another town over was 6 inches. That storm was the weirdest crap. And here it was a full-on blizzard the whole day. Man, there was winds whipping. It was probably close to, we had gusts probably close to 50 that day. And I had the whole video. In fact, you can see it's still up. And that video was basically me, well, shoveling snow for part of it. And I didn't get the full that clip, but I do have a clip of birds going in the chicken coop, and I'll show you that at the end of this. But before that, I was outside for a prolonged period of time. Now, one thing to remember about this type of snow is that it drifts very easily. And walking through that was not fun. And me being the type of moron that I am, I decided to wear rain boots and not wear socks either. So, when I was walking through the snow, you know, walking through all the snow, it was like random drifts of, I think the deepest one was like 4 feet. I had to walk through that piece of crap. And when I walked through it, well, not only did my boot come off and I couldn't find it, but then half a minute later, my second boot comes off. So I have to walk through the snow barefoot. And one thing to know about this storm is that it was about 15 degrees and also very windy. So with the wind chill, it's probably close to -5 degrees. And I think you couldn't imagine a worse scene. That was awful. 9 out of 10 fail. Now let's take a little trip down memory lane to when I first decided to go out there and shovel. Now I had this really tiny shovel, and this is gonna be versus the blizzard of 2011. I just want to say, this was the worst fail I've ever had to witness myself do. This is gonna be a 10 out of 10 fail. So I decided to go out there with a really puny shovel, and if you don't know what the blizzard of 2011 was up here in New England, it was bad. They were saying we were gonna get 6 to 12 inches of snow one night, and it was gonna be windy, so blizzard conditions, all that fun stuff. So, I was very young at the time, young and stupid, so I was like, you know what, since it's gonna snow 9 inches tonight, tomorrow I'm gonna go out there and attempt to shovel. Damn, you can hear them coyotes too. It's gonna be an interesting video when it's up. Yeah, they sound like, holy crap, I'm gonna sort of incorporate that. So, it's ironic, because I woke up the next day and there's 42 inches of snow. Just so you know, I think I was like 3 or 4 at the time. And, well, I'm gonna tell you how tall I was at 3 or 4. I was like 3'2". I think I was like, no, I think I was like 3'6". So it was just about the height of the amount of snow there was out there. So me trying to walk out there shoveling, well, I didn't actually end up shoveling the snow. I ended up shoveling a tunnel through the front yard. A tunnel through the front yard. I'm not even joking. Not only did I mess up that badly, but the shovel decided to break. So me, being the idiot that I was at the time, decided to use my hands to burrow through the rest of the snow. That, as you probably could imagine, was awful. That thing is a 10 out of 10 fail. I am never going out in another 42-inch snowstorm again. Unless it's for content, guys, because, well, that would be a really cool thumbnail, I guess. You'll just see an upload saying, oh, we just got 64 inches of snow up here. So, yeah. If you aren't...
I've been raising chickens for 2.5 years now, but within those 2.5 years, there's more than likely a couple of negative experiences that I've had. So I figured I'd share them with you to question whether the fact you'd want chickens or not. Let's begin.
Alright, so one of the biggest the biggest reason why most people, and a lot of people don't actually like chicken keeping, is because of the work. Now, to make the work 69,420 times worse, what you need to do is you need to add a storm. If you don't have an automatic coop door, then you have to let them out every morning, whether it's raining, pouring, or you're having a literal hurricane over your place. You still have to go out there to let them out. Unless, of course, they're like right next to your house and you usually pasture them because a hurricane's about to hit. And of course, if a hurricane's about to hit, you need to take precautions, and I have a video for you on that, but it's pretty expired, so yeah.
Alright, so have you ever had an instance where if you pasture chickens, they literally escape their yard, and they are literally impossible to put back in? Well, I'll tell you, that happens to me almost every day. You see, chickens always find their little escape routes, and no matter how hard you try, they're going to find them. So make sure you patch up literally every single exploit, or else your chickens are going to find literal, like, even the tiniest exploit will be enough to let them get out. Now, let's just say you turn your backyard into a giant construction zone, you're putting something in there, maybe a fence or something like that. Your chickens are going to get in the way in that if that happens, so recommend making sure your fence is 100% secure, or put an entire square around the yard so that way they don't get out. And also, chickens can fly up to 7 feet tall, so don't think that a wussy 3-foot tall fence will just keep them from escaping. It won't.
How many times have your chickens gotten into something you don't want them to get into? For me, that's happened at least over 100 times. Free-ranging chickens is worse, but pasturing chickens, you sometimes let them get into stuff that you don't want them to get into. Whether it's poisonous plants, or sometimes just the stuff you don't want them to touch. Like, imagine you're digging a giant hole in your backyard and your chicken just falls into it. Pain and suffering to get them out, unfortunately. And if it's a really deep hole, they're not going to be able to get out on their own. But as I said, chickens can fly up to 7 feet tall, so don't be surprised that they jump out of these holes like it's absolutely nothing. The one thing I will say is that make sure that the area you're going to put your chickens in or move them to is going to be an area that is exploit-free from stuff that you don't want them to touch. Because, well, if they touch stuff, I bet you want to throw your phone like it's nothing if that happens.
And of course, how many times have your chickens made a mess with their food or water? For me, I have to deal with that at least once or twice a week. It is not fun to have to clean all of that up just because your chickens decide to literally just do all that by themselves. Trust me, chickens will do that if you're not careful. And trust me, they are some very extravagant creatures, but at the same time, they are also morons when it comes to this. So, let's just say you just give them some food, and you notice they're digging in that. They're kicking all the stuff out of there onto the ground for you to have to clean up. It really is pain and suffering, right? Well, if any of those things made you stop buying chickens, well, you're welcome, because if you can't put up with the pain and suffering of raising chickens, well, there's a good chance you can't. Anyways, this is the end screen.
First thing I usually do in the morning is I go on my computer and I check and see how the channel is doing. For the most part, my channel is doing pretty decent at this point. And then I check and see how my latest video is performing and look at some analytics on that. Here is a little bit of, like, you know, overview on, like, how my analytics work, sort of. Alright, so this is the hour where I like to get out and check on the chickens, ducks, and the garden. I usually check on what's in the area, so this is the area that I'm going to be checking on real quick. It looks like everything's doing good in the garden so far. It looks like some goldenrod is coming up. Maybe we'll be able to get a second honey harvest this year, because I thought we eradicated it last year, but it looks like we didn't. Alright, so there are a couple of gourds starting to come in over here. Like I showed you in the garden tour yesterday, like you should really go check out that video. Like I said, this zucchini was like half its size yesterday. I think that's ready. You know, I'll bring some of the stuff in with my dinner tonight. You know, maybe I'll have it along with my salad tonight. You know, stuff like that. The basil's almost done, so you know what? In my fall garden tutorial video tomorrow, I'm definitely going to be showing plans for my fall garden, because I have confirmed that I will be doing one under the grow lights this year. Alright. Now let's go check up on the chickens, you know, check and see if they have eggs and stuff like that. Let's do that.
So not only is this a check for eggs and collect them period, this is also a check and see if they have their food and water period. And by the looks of things, they did recently get their fresh water for the day, so they look like they are set and ready. Next time, I think I'll have to do it maybe like 4 or 5. But the sun starts to set like 7:30 here now, so I don't know if I really need to do that anymore. I don't know, honestly. Oh, just so you know, if you're just wondering, this is the day you're seeing this day in the life on. The day it was uploaded on was the day that I was filming it on. It sounds stupid using past tense on the day that I'm filming it. Alright, so in the box here we have Chicken Burger, it looks like. Not really gonna disturb him. And right over here is Mrs. Peepers. And I'm gonna check the duck hoop. But the chickens, the broody chickens, Cute and Loudmouth. Loudmouth is right there. She's done being broody, but she still sleeps out in the duck coop. I'm guessing it's because she's like disoriented, like she's more used to sleeping in there or something. But you never know. Oh, this clip's more than a minute long. You know what that means? This is not a short. Let's go. I don't know why it's such a celebration, but like every time, like I remember like once I thought like one of my day in the lives was too short, but it turns out that video was like 1 hour and 45 minutes. You know, I'll tell you what. Alright, Abro's getting settled in here. I'll tell you what, y'all. I'm gonna make sure this video gets up to, I don't know, 120 likes. And I will personally upload that 1 hour and 30 minute long day in the life. And I'll even edit it. Alright, it's around 2 right now. Last filmed at like 10. But we're gonna do a quick egg collection. We have 3 in here. I'm not gonna do the Farm Flocks egg collection till tonight because if I do, I'd probably get absolutely ransacked by my rooster. And I prefer to not have to edit that because I would probably curse like 25,000 times. And yeah, I gotta go in. I'm about to do a live stream, so I guess I'll film part of it. I'm also gonna do a potato harvest later today, so yeah.
Alright, so it's like 5 o'clock right now, and yeah, I just got off the live. It was pretty fun, and I will say y'all should really check out the live. It's Trivia Tuesday in all caps, and it was posted today on August 16th, 2022. If you're watching this in 2085, you're gonna have to scroll a long way to get that. Anyways, let's do a little bit of garden harvesting.
I guess you might be able to count this as sort of a garden tour here, but I don't know. So first of all, I like to go down these rows. Starting out here at the gourds, like I usually start my garden tours out with. You know, there's a frog in here. I don't know if those are frogs. I think those were mice. Not lice or mites. Mice. You didn't hear that incorrectly. Alright. Just checking to see if something's ready in here. Nothing. But I remember seeing a gourd coming up yesterday. Somewhere over here. It was real funny looking, but, you know, that's what gourds are. They're funny looking pumpkins. Let's check in here. Alright, so I don't see any at the moment. Ooh, the green beans have been cursed. Now for green beans, you can't feed the chickens the green bean plant, nor can you feed them uncooked green beans. But this one right here, looks like it might be ready. It doesn't come off, so it's not quite ready yet. But this one might be. No, that one's not ready either. Alright, now let's check out the zucchini. This one is this one's pretty ready. It's a little bit bigger than, oh no. There's these yellow beetles on them, and I don't know if these are, you see them right there? Ah, crap, I'm gonna take this thing in real quick.
Alright, so those are squash lady beetles, and I think they're doing this to the plants. Not the flea beetles or the white flies. But the thing is, I don't see them on any of the other plants. Like this one right here, this one looks just completely fine. Nothing wrong with this one. But on this plant, nah, everything is wrong with this one. You know, this thing was tiny yesterday. This thing grew quickly. You know, we're getting tons of baseball bats out of the garden, Emma. Yeah, alright, so looks like we have a flower coming in over here. One coming in right over here. I think this plant is on vacation. It looks like this one got like bitten off by maybe like the groundhog or something like that. Alright. Ready, this one's ready. Yeah, I'm gonna feed this one to the chickens. Same thing with this one. Alright, so these two get fed to the chickens. That's what I'm about to do. Alright, chickens, here you go. Alright, chickens, here y'all go. Feel bad for Gray Cloud. Alright, Gray Cloud, I'm betting there's gonna be something else that I can feed y'all. Alright, this one's ready. This one's ready. No, these are ready, it looks like. This one is, though. Alright, my camera's at like 5%. I'm just gonna pick one more thing out of here before I go back in and find my other camera. Well, you know, I'm gonna get this beefsteak right here. Oh, got our first beefsteak. Damn.
Alright, so we're about to do this potato harvest, and so I figured I'd record it and then maybe drop like a second video or like a short tonight. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna open this little door right here. That's how like the dirt starts to come out. You can kind of like flip this like that, and just sort of like let like the dirt sort of come out here. Yeah. So we need to go sifting through the soil to get the potatoes out of here. Let's do this. one out of many potatoes out so far. No, I don't know where to put this. I'm just gonna put them right there. I'm just gonna pour this thing in here.
So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a simple run-in shed for farming purposes. This video will not cover stuff such as building permits and other building permit related stuff. So you have two options when it comes to building these simple run-in sheds. The first one is going to last for only 30 years, the second one will last for 50 plus years. So the 30-year option will be to bury your corner posts into the ground, just doing absolutely nothing after that. It'll decay after like 20 years, and all you need is just like one 50-mile-per-hour wind gust at just the right direction, which is more likely than you think. Just absolutely annihilate your little run-in shed that you probably put all your effort into. This usually takes around a week, so be patient. However, don't worry, because you can still make it last for over 50 years sometimes. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to fill holes with concrete, obviously. Now, obviously, it'll be wet. And you're going to set a post connector into the wet concrete. And then you're going to want to attach a J-bolt to it. And J-bolts look like something that's currently on the screen. So once it dries, you're going to want to anchor a post bracket to the J-bolt, and this is what it currently looks like. And then you just set the post into the post bracket. That's literally as simple as that. So now it comes to the really exciting part of your build. Now it's time to actually begin building. So now that you got your three things. Now actually run-in sheds only have three sides because, well, the run-in sheds, that's what they're made for. They're made for you to just simply run in. So you're going to want to put 2x4s across the three walls, obviously. And what 2x4s look like are currently on the screen. And yeah, that's what you're going to need for that. So now that you got that set up, now let's talk about walls. So there are several different types of walls that you can do. You can do T111, which is what we use. And basically T111 is basically like plywood, so it's going to put a lot more shear strength onto the wall. And yeah, I can explain that in a separate video because right now I don't have the notes on that right now. But it's going to put a lot of shear strength onto the wall. And yeah, that's basically why T111 is much more recommended. But you can obviously go the extra mile, and you could use vinyl siding, which is the siding that most likely your house uses, unless your house is from the 1800s. Well, my house's siding was done in the 40s, so not really that. But we don't have vinyl siding on our house, and we don't use vinyl siding on our barns. Instead, or sheds or run-in sheds. Well, we don't have any run-in sheds yet, but I do know how to build one, so that's what I'm showing you all today. Basically, yeah, that's why we use vinyl siding. Now let's talk about roofing. So you're obviously gonna need roof rafters, and what roof rafters are, for those of you that don't know, basically what a roof rafter is it's basically something that you attach to your roof to basically as a base, and then you put plywood on it, you put weather protection, and you usually strap these things to your actual structure by using stuff such as hurricane ties. We use that to keep it from blowing off during winds. But then I'm gonna leave the roofing style up for you, so I'm gonna show you a couple of roofing styles that you can follow along with. So the first one that you could do is you can do just a simple classical roof that has boards around the thing, what your house probably has. I don't remember what it's called. Then you have the Dutch roof, and that's what tons of really older homes uses. One of our sheds uses this, and this is much more recommended if you're really good with building stuff. And then you obviously have other roofing styles, such as like, let's see, what do we have? We have like the cone roof style. That's actually really complicated, and yeah, I don't think any of us really have the time and effort to learn how to build a roof that's shaped like a cone going up. Especially since like traffic cones are the most annoying thing on the road. Yeah, I don't really think we need to build a roof of the thing that we probably hate the most on the road. And there's other simple styles of roofing that you could build, but some of these rafters are really hard to make. And then what you're going to want to do is you just want to put metal roofing on the building because, well, you need metal roofing. And below that, like you build like your roof rafters, you put the wood on it, and then you put like the weatherproof on it, and then you just put metal roofing on top of it. And you also want to strap the rafters to the building using hurricane ties, as I said before. Yeah. So this first part of the video, I'm going to be talking about collecting the eggs, because originally this breeding project was supposed to be completely based about our chicken Cute, but after experimenting with several other chickens, they did absolutely nothing. Yes, my face is blurred out for this part. It's late at night, what else are you supposed to do? But yeah, that is basically what happened during this time period. We just collected the eggs to go give them to our Marin chicken, who doesn't have a name, just Marin the Marin. That's literally it. And yeah, let's go do this. I like this part when the Marin just completely puts the egg under her. It took us a few tries, but then eventually she would put it under her. And yeah, this is definitely something we're going to be doing. And this was old footage from June 11th, so she's much closer to hatching them right now.
Alright, let's get back out here and let's film a little update, because today's July the 1st. It is 91 degrees right now, ridiculously hot out. It's only supposed to be 89, but it's 91 with, humidity's like 75% right now. It is absolutely terrible. And this Marin is enjoying it, so I think they're gonna hatch out, I don't know, sometime around July 10th-ish. That's what I'm expecting. She's gonna hatch. Now, broody chickens, they're gonna be sitting on eggs basically 24/7, except for 20-30 minutes out of her day that she's gonna go out and, well, just do stuff, such as dust bathing. This is our broody chicken right there. And while she's just taking a really short-lived break from the box, don't worry, she'll be right back in anytime. Yeah. See, that's the thing about broody chickens. That footage was pretty old, as you just saw a few weeks now. And yeah, this is definitely something I do enjoy seeing. And yeah, broody chickens, I'm gonna just show you our chicken Cute, and I'm gonna talk about my experience with broody chickens. Now, for a while now, I've had to deal with broody chickens, almost 2 years now. So Cute was our first broody chicken. We promised her some eggs that she could hatch. Well, when we experimented back on the day before, I think we went in too many times, and she just didn't appreciate it, so she just didn't go broody, and then she went right back out to the pet flock, a huge field trip, right back over to the pet flock. That's one thing that happened, basically. But after that, we finally got her. We then got several other chickens. We then experimented with several other chickens, so we then took out our chicken, What the Cluck, but that went terribly wrong, and she actually was part of my breeding chickens goes horribly wrong video, which at this point, almost a month ago now, but yeah, you learn every day what you're doing wrong. So yeah, I don't know if we're ever gonna use that chicken to breed again, but I'm pretty sure that Cute, who is our Buff Orpington chicken right there, is definitely gonna be helping a lot with our breeding project in the future. Yeah. I can definitely see a bright future for Cute, and yeah, she is habit bound, and so at this point, if she does go broody, we're gonna be like, oh, come on, why the hell did you do it now instead of back on June 11th? But Cute decides what Cute wants to do, so for now, she's just she's a normal chicken, but you never know. We were also gonna do our chicken Loudmouth, who's right here, but she stopped going broody like the day before the project, which was really like, oh, come on. Like, seriously, like, what if you're about to do like a big breeding project like that and then your chicken just isn't going broody? Fortunately for us, it looks like we will have some chickens to hatch. We candled the eggs a few days ago. They look like they're gonna hatch. There's plenty of moving chickens. She has added a few eggs. They're all brown. They're not gonna hatch since we don't have a buff rooster in our chicken yards. But, you know, if we mixed Buff Orpington with our black copper Marin rooster, chances are it won't go too good. So if you did end up liking this video in some way, shape, or form, and you want to see updates on this breeding project, drop a like and sub to this YouTube channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. It is several days after my birthday. There's the red-tailed hawk up there. That red-tailed hawk is a deadly weapon to chickens and has killed nearly 10 of our chickens. So if you just want something to watch in your free time, my channel is... What's good, everyone? In today's video, I will show you how to make zucchini bread using this very simple recipe. If you want more gardening, cooking videos in the future, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to this channel. And with all that out of the way, let's begin. So here's the stuff that you will need. You're gonna need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, 3 eggs, 1 cup vegetable oil, 2 1/4 cups of white sugar, 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 cups of grated zucchini, and 1 cup of chopped walnuts. Now let's get baking. So here's the steps to begin cooking your zucchini bread. So firstly, what you're going to want to do is you're going to grease 2 8x4 inch pans. Here's a picture of them on the screen, because they look a lot different than you might actually imagine. Now you're going to want to preheat the oven to 325 degrees, not 425 degrees, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know Celsius, I'll flash that up on the screen right now. Alright, so then what you're going to want to do is you want to sift flour, salt, baking powder, soda, and cinnamon together in a bowl. Now what you're going to want to do is beat the eggs, vanilla, oil, not the type of oil that you'll usually get from the store, like, I don't know what type of oil. The place I got this from is not being that specific. Alright, vanilla and sugar together in a large bowl. Add sifted ingredients to a creamed mixture and beat well. Stir in zucchini and nuts until well combined. Pour to 60 minutes and pour batter into prepared pans. Oh my god, I can't read off of my own script. Now, you're going to want to put that in the oven. Bake for 40 to 60 minutes. I would much rather prefer you bake for 60 minutes. That way it's cooked thoroughly. Alright. Or, what you're going to want to do is you're going to bake until the tester, which, I don't do a lot of baking, so I think that's the thing that, like, measures, like, degrees and stuff like that. Or until the tester inserted to the center comes out clean. So, like, you come out, there's absolutely nothing on it. So there can't be, like, the serum, there can't be, like, not the serum, the mixture attached to it. Just absolutely nothing, just comes out clean. And then you're going to want to cool it in the pan for 20 minutes. Now you're going to want to remove the bread from the pan and let it just completely cool. Well, guys,
What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be going over a few insane chicken world records that you won't believe. Let's get into it. So the first one we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about the most eggs laid in one singular day by one single chicken. That would be 7. Considering that it usually takes about 23 or 24 hours for a chicken to lay an egg, you shouldn't really expect them to lay more than 1. Occasionally, there might be 2. That's pretty much uncommon. So mostly, it'll be 1 or 2 eggs a day, but occasionally you'll get that one-off chicken that'll actually set a world record. So try to top 7. And yeah, it's a world record you could shoot for. Next world record I'm going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about, of course, who has the oldest chicken. That chicken, I believe, lived to be like 18, 19 years old. It is really hard to get a chicken. They usually live over 5 years, but occasionally, if a chicken is well fed enough, they will actually do that. The average chicken usually lives 5 to 10 years, but occasionally a chicken will live longer than that. But yeah, that is a huge world record to be broken, and it will be a sight never seen for a really long time. But with this new generation of chickens, who knows? We could probably top this record very soon. In fact, I bet in a few hundred years, the average life expectancy of a chicken will be nearly 60 years. Now it is time to talk about who is the smartest chicken. It's unaware of their name, but according to Google, the smartest chicken that is out there, at least by breed, is a white leghorn, meaning that it is most likely a white leghorn type chicken that will be the most smartest. Now here's the thing, the average IQ of a chicken is about the average 4 or 5 year old's IQ, so that's usually about, I'm gonna go with 15 or 20 IQ. It's not necessarily that high, but that does mean that they can perform some basic math equations. I believe this chicken might be closer to 30 or 40. It all depends on what type of chicken it is and what their exposure to wild is and how they respond.
This is my first corn plant of the season. This one was actually kind of a miracle corn plant since the raccoons have been up there just like absolutely annihilating the corn. This is just something I quickly made since, well, I didn't have too much time to edit something. This right here is a $3 chicken, and this is a $3,000. By the end of this video, we will discover all the chickens in between these prices. Buckle yourselves, this will be a wild ride. Starting off nice and simple, we have a simple $3 chicken, the Buff Orpington. These chickens lay a lot of eggs every year and are typically really good if you want light brown eggs, and are also really friendly. 100% worth the price. I would 100% recommend this to anyone that wants to buy a simple chicken. Cranking up the price a slight bit up to $5, we now have the Barred Rock chickens. I have no clue why they're $5, but they lay plenty of eggs, which is probably another reason why. They're black and white stripes, which is why they are called Barred Rocks, because they're shaped like bars. Anyways, they're pretty cool chicken breed. There's not really much to say about them. They're pretty much, that's all I gotta say. Now we're gonna be bumping the price up to $7. We're talking about Easter eggers next. Now we're gonna talk about true Americanas, but these chickens are sort of a mix between Americanas and multiple other breeds, which is why they don't get clearly blue eggs. Unless you have a certain type of them, then they'll get you clearly blue eggs, but they're still mixed with a couple other breeds. The reason they're cheap and not the original expensive one is because these can easily be mixed in with multiple different breeds. True Americanas will be found a little bit later in this video, so keep watching. I know viewer retention is so high right now, definitely not like 2%, but either way, these chickens are basic. They lay blue eggs. They have these little beards that I really like about them. That's how you can tell it's an Easter egger, because they're supplemented, and I really like them, so they're approved. I wasn't lying when I said true Americanas were next. From some breeders, they can cost as much as $70, but for most breeders, they're typically between $10 and $15, so not really much to say about them other than the fact that they're just Easter eggers, but they don't lay green eggs. So that's really all there is to say about them. Nothing too much, just they're pretty cool. I love them. True Americanas, basically like chicken burger. Think about that. Moving the price up to just $17, we now have Black Copper Marin chickens. These chickens lay chocolate brown eggs, which is one of the main reasons why they're actually that expensive. Once we're done with this chicken, we're going to then quickly move on to the $3,000 chicken, so keep on watching until the end, and while you're at it, like and subscribe. My chickens would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, yeah, these chickens pretty cool. Other than that, chocolate brown eggs, and a decent price. Bumping up the price a whole lot, all the way up to $70, we now have the Sussex chicken. I have no clue where these chickens are coming from, but whatever they are, they're an extremely expensive breed of chickens that lay a decent amount of eggs a year and are also dual purpose, which is probably a reason why it factors into the cost. I believe there's only a couple thousand or tens of thousands of these chickens versus the millions of other breeds of chickens left in the wild, which is probably what, not in the wild, just like basically anywhere, which is probably one of the main reasons why they're a little bit more expensive, but that's still cheap compared to the $3,000 chicken. Anyways, let's move on to a $1,000 chicken first. This right here is the Dong Tao Vietnamese chicken. It's a really cool chicken for only $1,000. I mean, like, yeah, it's a dual-purpose breed, but mostly known for its meat, especially in royal feasts in the past. These chickens can easily be found, but are extremely expensive, and I believe they can only be found in Vietnam, so be aware, you have to travel halfway across the world to get one of these chickens. Yeah, I'd like to refrain from traveling halfway across the world to get a chicken, but, you know, it would be kind of cool to have one day. Chickens are extremely unique animals, and in this video we're going to be going over 25 separate fun facts that will each blow your mind separately, so let's begin. So this one's a pretty obvious one, but chickens are actually the closest related animals to Tyrannosaurus rexes. How do we know this? DNA tests. Well, chickens can actually understand up to 150 plus faces of different people, so if you bring 150 people over, chances are if you bring them over again, your chickens will recognize them. Now, contrary to popular belief, chickens can actually see in full color, and they also dream. A lot of people don't actually know this for some reason. Chickens can run up to 9 miles per hour, so that basically means that if you try to chase a chicken, it can run faster than you. And not only that, but chickens also have 200 different vocalizations, some for even different predators. And for those who say chickens have no emotion, that's completely wrong. They can have feelings such as empathy, even self-control. So yeah, chickens have way more self-control than I could have ever dreamed of having. Oh, and by the way, chickens are actually not vegetarians, they're omnivorous, and my chickens have been carnivorous before. They've eaten bacon out of my hands before. So yeah, and I bet you've definitely heard of the pecking order. It's basically an organized government for the chickens. So if this doesn't prove that chickens aren't smart, I have no clue what actually will. Chickens can recognize themselves through a mirror, which basically means that they can pass the social awareness test. That's actually insane that an animal that people think has a peanut brain can pass a social awareness test. Now, depending on the breed, some chickens can live 10 to 12 years. Most chickens, though, only live 4 to 8 years, and in more crucial conditions, only 3 years. Based on the color of a chicken's earlobes, you can determine what color egg the chicken will lay. It's very easy, especially with Americanas or Easter eggers. By simply making very, very, very quiet sounds, a chicken can communicate to its baby chickens even before it's hatched. That's impressive. The way chickens clean themselves is by using a gland on their back, which can simply allow them to clean themselves using basic oils. You can easily find a chicken performing this act. Chickens actually have a third eyelid which allows them to shut their eyes correctly. If they don't have this, then they'll be very vulnerable to predators. Chickens have taste buds in 3 different locations, which is probably why they're very picky as to what they eat. Well, chickens can teach each other new skills, so if a chicken somehow learns math, then it's probably going to teach another chicken math. Chickens actually know what Earth's magnetic field is, and they can actually use it to navigate. That's insane. The typical body temperature of a chicken is 105 degrees, while in humans it's about 98.6 degrees. That's pretty much not the case anymore. Chickens can actually sneeze, hiccup, and snore, and I've heard all my chickens do this, and sneezing is not typically a good sign, so bring them to a vet as soon as possible. Chickens each have their own very unique personality, and they're also very curious, so beware, I guess. Chickens can suffer from stress, boredom, and basically just plain out boredom, especially if there's nothing to do and there's no bugs. The main reason why chickens have so many unique clucks and coos is basically because they can modulate their clucks and coos, which is so cool. Chickens can do basic math and everything else in their head. Speaking of math, how about we reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of the week, so please like and subscribe. The comb and wattle are not there for decoration, they're actually there to serve a purpose, like circulating blood flow, and also it can tell them if your chicken is sick or not. You will not believe this #1 fact. 25.9 billion domesticated chickens are currently living as of the latest. That is insane because they're the most iconic and also the largest population of domesticated animal species. This video is going to be a compilation of what day 1 versus what day 1000 of me raising chickens would end up looking like. Just a disclaimer, some of the footage in this video is stock footage because I don't really have a lot of footage from back in 2020. With that being said, let's go. During the course of the first day, we were informed at approximately 3 p.m. that we were going to go pick up chickens. Keep in mind, this was the day that, at least in my state of Connecticut, that lockdown started to become real, and to be completely honest, this was a really, really good call that we picked them up on the day that lockdown was officially declared a really bad thing. So, what did it look like? Basically, we picked them up, brought them home, and also I had to make sure that they were nice and warm in the car, or else they would have been cold, because it was only 50 degrees that one day. With that being said, we brought them home safely and put them up in the brooder. This was the day that at least we named about 5/9 of the chickens up there. That's at least from my understanding. I don't really remember. Some of the first names included things like Lovey and Abro and a couple of other chickens. If you're wondering what happened to other chickens, I'll mention all the names later in the video. But here are the ones I remember they're currently playing on screen right now. Anyways, this is what the rest of the month would end up playing out like. At around this point, we were starting to get some real results out of the chickens. And also, just about every single chicken, I believe, except for Loudmouth, was named at that point. So we have all but one of the Buff Orpingtons were named at that point. But after that, all the chickens were, I believe Loudmouth got her name sometime in like early May. But then we had some other cool things occur. So yeah, keep watching till the end and you'll see the rest of what happens. So nothing really happened in this month. No chickens were lost, just typical month. Now, I hear you guys asking, why did you choose some random day in May, and also some random day on the timeline instead of like day 50 or something? Well, shut up, because day 50 is coming up in a minute. But here's the first thing. This day was actually the first day where something significant ended up happening to the chickens. 2 days earlier, we let a couple chickens outside for about 10 minutes. The next day, we let them out for a little bit longer in a much more wider yard, and the next day, we let them out for a little bit longer in an even bigger yard. Unfortunately, this day, BCT got into a fight with another chicken, and unfortunately ended up injuring Mrs. Peepers on this very day. Don't ask how I remember these dates. I could never tell you, to be honest, but that's all there is to say about this day. On to day 50. At this point, there wasn't really much to really start discussing about. Like, yeah, there was some things going on, and at this point, Loudmouth has finally gotten her name, and the chicken coop was about 85% completed. But that was all there was to report on this day. Nothing really special for the day, other than the fact that, yeah, Loudmouth got named, and that was it. So, pretty cool, right? Now let's move on to a more significant day. This was the first day that the chickens got their coop officially. I remember it being a Friday, and I remember one odd thing about that day was that at night there was an extremely powerful thunderstorm with a tornado warning for a short period of time. Yes, that's like one of the key things I remember from that day, don't ask. Anyways, yeah, there's nothing else that happened that day other than the chickens just moving outside. Anyways, let's move on to an even bigger date. Alright, so this day would be the precursor to the next day. This day was like just a really long day with a really powerful thunderstorm to kick it all off right in the end, and there was really nothing too special about this day, but what happened the next day would be even bigger, so let's get into that. See, you might remember these two videos I made a little while ago. This is Candlewick, so unfortunately she ended up passing away on this day due to a red-tailed hawk attack. This was the first of, actually 3 I think, I don't know to be honest, but whatever it was just crazy to think about. The fact that this red-tailed hawk didn't come back until recently. That was the last time we'd hear about it, and oh boy, I was so mad, and I was just making up fantasies where I was punching the ever-loving crap out of that thing, but that was just a fantasy world, unfortunately. But yeah, that was pretty much it for that day. So I hear you guys asking, what is the importance of the most random day in the world's history? Well, I'm going to be explaining why August 23rd, 2020 was a significant day for my chickens. This actually happened to be the day that we got the first egg, and I believe that was from Summer or Mrs. Peepers. It was Barred Rock, followed up by about 4 p.m. we had another egg being laid by Loudmouth. I saw Loudmouth lay that egg, so I can confirm that one. This all happened 3 years ago at this point, and that's crazy to think about, so yeah, let's move on. So this one right here is a fairly insignificant one, but what is the significance of it? Well, this was the first time my chickens ever ended up seeing snow when they were outside. They've seen snow before while they're inside, but never while they were outside, so this was their first time seeing it. It was quite the interesting event for them, because it was like 5 inches of snow in October. It was crazy. This is yet another decently insignificant one, but it was the day that I created my channel, which ended up becoming the biggest document of my chickens. Which is pretty cool, I guess. So like and subscribe if you're enjoying this video so far, because this has taken me a long time to make. So this was about the time period when my chickens turned 1 year old. I did post a birthday party video, which is now privated because it's ridiculously bad, but well, we don't talk about that. So basically the chickens turned 1 on this day, which means we've officially spent 1 year with the chickens. It was an extremely crazy thing to think about, especially considering that my chickens did not look like they were a year old. They were going happy as ever. Alright, so this day is also pretty significant because this was the day where we introduced 3 new chickens to the pet flock. Those 3 chickens including things like... Nah, I almost said Kit Kat. It's Sprinkles, Falcon, and Grey Cloud. Grey Cloud was actually the day after, but, well, we don't talk about that because, yeah. That's really the most significant part of the day. The chickens actually managed to hold them decently until they found out Falcon was a rooster, and then they tried to exile him for like 7 weeks. It was crazy. Alright, so at this point, we've officially had the chickens for 500 days, and for some reason, my dumb self didn't even realize that we had the chickens for 500 days. It was crazy. But the chickens definitely were standing out really good. The only disease we had contracted in that flock at the time was the one time that Captain Blackman got Bumblefoot and ended up surviving. That was crazy, but well, that was it. Nothing really to report on for the chickens, just the ducks. The only thing that ended up happening on this day is the fact that on this day, our barred rock named What the Cluck ended up moving into the pet. She was probably one of the more forgettable chickens, but I still remember her daily and the impact that she made on the channel at that point. She went by 2 different names, known as one under the alias of Cluckers and the other one What the Cluck. So this one was very similar to the last one, the only difference being that instead of a barred rock being moved out, it was a Buff Orpington, which I'm pretty sure you know the name too, Rogue. Rogue has become like so iconic on the channel, like at this point I literally just take a screenshot of Rogue, crop out everything but the head, and then like apply it to like some like PNGs of businessmen, and then all of a sudden we got some Rogue businessmen out there, man. It's so cool. I have like an entire folder of those pictures, man. They're so cool. Anyways, yeah, Rogue is pretty cool. Alright, so this is another fairly unfortunate day, and if you didn't already know, I actually had a chicken named Sprinkles, and she unfortunately ended up passing away on the 29th of May, 2022. It was a very sad night, but it ended up having to happen because the chicken was in immense pain for multiple weeks. We're finally getting there. At this point in time, I didn't even realize that we're getting really close to having 1,000 days with these chickens, but at this point, nothing had really happened ever since Sprinkle's death, other than the fact that, yeah, we had a couple of the chickens get close calls with different predators, but other than that, nothing really big has happened at that point. So, yeah, let's move on. We finally made it to the end of a long, harrowing, and also exciting story. Not only have I milked this content to death by making it over 8 minutes long, but also we've discussed about a lot of things. My chickens have survived through blizzards, witnessing other chickens dying unfortunately, witnessing ducks passing away, witnessing the creation of themselves. It's been such a long and harrowing journey for the chick. For that,
Alright, so today is March 20th, 2023, and today is officially the day that my chickens turn 3 years old, right, Chicken Burger? Don't you agree with that statement? I'll take that as a yes. Alright, so this video is going to be a bit different than my other birthday celebrations, and just so you know, the award banquet video is probably going to come out on like the 24th or something like that. So yeah, if you're wondering where that's going to be, the chickens are going to get a bunch of like Oscar awards. Alright, no, it's not going to be that deep, but like the chickens are going to get a couple awards. So the voting poll's in the description if you want to help contribute to that. But yeah, the chickens have been building some really deep caves in this dirt. They really do enjoy it. So what are you gonna expect out of this video? First off, you're gonna expect a little celebration. I'm not gonna sing happy birthday because I'd probably voice crack and I'd sound like crap if I ever even tried to sing at all. So what we're just gonna do is we're gonna wish them all a happy birthday. You in the comments can go ahead and start singing if you want to, but you know, do whatever you want here. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna feed them a massive cake. It's filled to the brim with treats. I did really want to bake something, but alright, so if you're wondering what we're about to feed the chickens, we got some diced up lettuce, some croutons, some salad. Yeah, some salad. Some of the, just so you know, the 3 is not gonna be in their meal. Some popcorn, and below us I think there's some cheddar goldfish. For you, this seems like an absolutely disgusting meal, but for the chickens, this is a 5-course dinner, man. Alright, chickens, are you ready for your 5-course meal? It's massive. I might give you guys a bit more later, but you know, yeah. So yeah, happy 3rd, Luffy. Just pretend that this 3 was actually properly made. So yeah, anything you want to say before we begin eating? I mean, I'm not eating anything. You guys are. Anything you want to say at all? That silence was kind of weird, but you know what? Let's put this down in a spot where all the chickens will be able to see it. Yeah, so if you're wondering, the chickens do sort of like have like a town set up in here. Like this coop right here is where they all live in, but they all really do reside like almost everywhere here. Falcon is sort of like the mayor, but like he's sort of that, like all the other chickens just love to hang out on this thing from the pool build back in the fall. Alright, chickens, are you ready for this? You guys can insert your happy birthday things right here, maybe remix this video out of happy birthday to it. But here you go, chickens. Oh my god. Alright, so if you're wondering, chickens love duck feed. And this stuff right here is all duck feed because they like eat the seeds out of it. And if you're wondering where the duck is, it's right here. She's right there. She's heading towards the stuff. It looks like Gray Cloud got to miss out on this, but I'm going to see if I can remind her really quickly. Gray Cloud, you're having dinner right now. Hope that was sufficient enough. But yeah, we're going to lace this stuff with a cornmeal in it. Not cornmeal, corn. And I did not mean to word it like that as well. I just meant to say, I'm going to put the corn in here because the chickens would love to have it there, so let's do that. Now, if you guys are wondering, this is technically duck feed, but chickens can eat duck feed just as much as ducks can eat chicken feed. So yeah, this is just a little bit unhealthy. It's sort of like pizza for chickens. I don't really like that meal that like, they don't really like they know they want it, but like, they're not like the most impressed whenever they get it, so. We're gonna sort of put some of it in the chicken feed. A bit here. There you go. Put a bit more in here. Gotta make sure it's everywhere in here. I tried to make sure as best as possible that not every corner of it was hit with it, but you know, chickens will be chickens and hopefully they enjoy it. Now I'm gonna close out the video real quick, but before I end it out, I really do want to say thank you for supporting last year. And also, I do also want to say that, yes, the award banquet is coming soon. And I'm hoping to get it out, not as late as I did last year, which I think was like the 27th. My goal is to get this thing out by like the 23rd through the 25th. It's gonna be like having some ridiculously overdramatic title name, like my chickens just won an Oscar award or something, so. Whenever you see that in your notifications, if you're subscribed, if you're not yet subscribed and you really love what you just saw, or even just sort of like did and kind of want to see more of that, then please hit the notifications bell. It does help me out, so when you see the chicken awards video where like we get an entire like Oscar, then well, there you go, there it is.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about raising chickens. Whether you want to have fresh eggs, meat, or just some feathered friends, chickens are a great addition to your homestead. But before we get started, there are some things you need to know and prepare. In this video, I'll share with you a couple tips and advice on how to raise happy and healthy chickens. The first thing you need to do is choose your breed of chicken. There are hundreds of breeds of chickens in the world, each with their own characteristics, personalities, and needs. Some breeds are good for egg production, some for meat production, some for both. Some are for neither as well. Some breeds are cold hardy, some are heat tolerant, some are friendly, some are aggressive, and so on. You need to do your research and find out which breed suits your goals, climate, space, and budget. For example, if you want a lot of eggs, you might want to choose a breed like the Leghorn or Barred Rock, which lay up to 300 eggs per year. If you want a dual-purpose breed that provides you with both eggs and meat, then you might want to go with a Rhode Island Red, which can lay up to 200 eggs per year and weigh up to 8 pounds. If you want a pet breed that's friendly and docile, you might want to choose a breed like the Silky Bantam, the Buff Orpington, and the Easter Egger, all of which have soft and fluffy chickens with a calm temperament. You can also buy chickens from a local store, a hatchery, or a feed store. You'd also have them shipped to you or order them online. But unfortunately, a lot of the time, chickens shipped have a survival rate of 85% or higher, while it should be 100%. So for me personally, I have to go with buying them locally, but you can buy them as fertilized eggs, baby chicks, pullets, or young hens, or mature birds. The price and availability of each option might vary depending on the season and demand. The next thing you need to do is prepare your coop. A coop is where the chickens will sleep at night and lay their eggs. It should be secure from predators, weatherproof, well ventilated, and easy to clean, and spacious enough for your flock. A general rule of thumb is to provide at least 4 to 7 square feet of floor space per chicken inside of the coop and at least 10 square feet of outdoor space per chicken in the run. But I go with well over 200, but 10 is the bare minimum. You can build your own coop from scratch or buy a ready-made one from the store or online. I have a video linked above talking about how to build a simple mobile chicken coop. You can also repurpose an old shed, barn, or doghouse into a coop. There are many designs and plans available online for inspiration and guidance. The main features of a good coop include a steady frame made of wood or metal, a roof that is sloped or peaked to prevent water accumulation, a door that can be locked or latched from the outside to prevent raccoons from entering, a floor that is raised above the ground or covered with bedding material such as straw, wood, shavings, or sand, a nesting box that is dark, cozy, and filled with bedding material for each hen, a roosting bar that is elevated above the floor and provides enough space for each chicken to perch comfortably, a feeder that is hung or placed at a height that prevents waste and spillage, a waterer that is clean and fresh and protected from freezing and overheating, a window or vent that allows air circulation and natural light, a run that's fenced or netted that provides access to grass, dirt, bugs, and plants. The last thing you need to do is care for your chickens. Chickens are relatively low maintenance animals, but they still require some attention and love. Here are some basic tips on how to care for your chickens. You need to feed them with a diet of commercial chicken feed, supplemented with fresh fruits, vegetables, grains, seeds, worms, insects, and grit. And treats! They love this stuff so much and will love you if you bring them that stuff daily and will know you as the treat guy. Provide them with clean water at all times and change it daily, or else the chickens will come and find you and hold you hostage. Alright, I'm joking, but you know what I'm trying to say. Collect their eggs daily and store them in a cool and dry place. And don't break them, it's quite simple, just don't be a moron. Clean their coop weekly and during rainy weeks, buy daily. And remove any droppings or spoiled bedding material. Check for their health regularly and look at the signs of illness and injury such as Lithagary. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. Loss of appetite, coughing, sneezing, wheezing, limping, swelling, bleeding, and parasites. If you notice mites, it isn't a big deal. They're more of a nuisance rather than an actual imminent threat. But remember, treat any minor problems with home remedies or over-the-counter medications. Consult a veterinarian if problem persists or worsens. If it's bumblefoot, it can easily be treated, but if the infection grows, chances are high that you'll lose your chicken. But it has a mortality rate of about 12%, so expect the best always. Protect them from predators. Pretty self-explanatory. If a predator kills them, and see what they did to kill them. If a predator injures them, treat them, and be sure to scream as much as you want at the predator, unless you're surrounded by people. And no screaming for you, I guess.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. This took me 91 hours to edit. Please like and subscribe to be engulfed in more outside activities. Please check out the playlist link above. Anyways, thanks to all my supporters linked on the screen. And also to you, Lovey, for being a very supportive chicken.